Time's up. Admiral.
Here it comes.
Fade in.
When it comes to fans, it is a fan's right to have whatever opinion they want to have.
Yeah, you're here to bang women.
Whoa, back. So, the white girl that's not a black girl with blonde hair is playing a character that saves Siri from SA and then demands compensation by eating bugs.
Basically.
Jurassic World.
Jurassic Park didn't eat more out of Lilo's pie.
Oh,
fuck.
God.
I'm still jerking off in front of my console.
I feel a tingle up my leg.
Broken. Is he coming back?
I think he's gone. He's done.
Wait,
that was my attempt at being a stan at that point. That was all I could muster.
That's all he could do at that point. He was so exhausted.
Wait a minute. Wait. Hold on. Wait. I feel a tingle up my leg. That's the most defeated speech I've ever heard in my life. I've been to Popeyes where they ran out of chicken. I ain't never heard more depressed than that. Oh my God. Oh God.
You know the people playing Grand Theft Auto. If there's just going to be a random pride parade that pops up in the city, you know what assholes like me are going to do? I'm going to find the biggest fucking truck that I have, a 4x4, and fucking run through that fucking pride parade and fucking kill everybody. In a video game, YouTube. In a video game.
Impressive. Most impressive.
The traditional word for organic means of earth. That is the original definition of earth. These that's doing these packaging need to be fired. All of them. They all need to go.
It's a scam.
Every single one of them.
Scam for 20 years.
And let me just tell you real quick. So, my wife and I just had this conversation about 8 minutes ago. Okay, because I went and got some brown eggs and everything from Wise and all that stuff, and she asked me, "Hey, next time you go, can you get some organic eggs?" I looked at her and I said, "What did you just say to me?" I was like, "Organic eggs."
I know where this is going.
Let me be as clear as I possibly can. Anything that comes out of an animal is organic.
You know what? It's because they change. It's what they feed the chicken. That's how they classify the organic.
Don't care if they were feeding the chicken artificial semen. Whatever comes out of the chicken is organic. The equivalent would be if I go up to a lady and say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you an organic baby." There is no other kind. Once I put my seed in your belly, what comes out is organic. Ain't no ifs, ands, or butt cheeks about it.
Listen, I've said this before. I'm going to say it again. The only reason the world hasn't probably imploded is because of porn. Because you take away the porn, World War IV happens. We're going to skip over World War III. We're going right to World War IV. All right? We need release. We need relaxation. We need things. Whatever scratches your itch, whatever gets you going, whatever gets a rise out of you. As long as you keep it to yourself and you're not hurting anybody else, especially kids, more power to. I don't care if you're a goddamn furry. I just want to see it. But people need their release to stay calm, to stay relaxed. All right? You take that away, enjoy an actual revolution where people of all sides don't agree on anything, will come together and say, no, I'm not living under this world where I can't touch myself. All right. No, this is the reality we live in. It's just there. And as long as nobody's getting hurt, everybody's having a good time. Just because you are either a frigid or an erectile dysfunctional is not a problem that I care about. All right.
As we start this, just wondering, how am I caught up? Do I sound okay? I'm going to leave
Yeah,
the camera
okay.
off.
You sound good.
actually
Sound
sound
fine,
like a
yeah.
I
human
restarted
being.
my internet, and it seems to have helped.
A few moments later.
There are rumors now floating around that they've recast She-Hulk for Secret Wars.
Yeah,
You guys heard this?
I have heard
Really?
this.
Have you heard this?
I haven't
And
heard of a recast.
the new actress
Oh.
is perfect.
It
Perfect.
is the one, the only, the extremely beautiful Alexandra Daddario.
Oh,
I love that woman. She has beautiful
Oh.
eyes.
Oh,
She has
has
great
beautiful
tits.
she is
Yeah.
she is the definition of beautiful woman. I mean,
That's
She
a
should
pretty
have
white
Lois
woman
Lane.
right there. That's
I
a
would
pretty
have. I
white
mean,
woman.
that she is just. Oh,
She should have
she's
been
a mom
Athena.
too. She's a mom. She got
Yeah,
two
she is.
kids. She got two kids.
Damn right she
Yeah.
is.
Look at this.
And
Oh,
I'm one of them.
oh, have
Mhm.
mercy. So,
What do
yeah,
you always say, Adam? What was that? With two
Yeah.
hands? With two hands.
hands even with two hands even and my face. But here's the thing. I've seen the stand started crying. What about Tatiana? Yeah, good night.
Yeah, she's a cunt.
Yeah, you
Don't
can go away. We want-
Nobody
Is she a
Yeah,
bitch?
want Masalani.
Yeah. Yeah, Alexandra Daddario. Yes,
Mm.
please.
A few moments later.
Black Panther 3 with
I think it's great casting.
I don't care about the casting. I just think, man, just okay.
Solani will not
Huh?
have my salami.
Okay, that was a real big delay there. We're already past that. I gotta write that one down. I've been writing them down today.
Oh, no.
I don't think he knows
Oh,
how the
Jed,
lady is.
heaven help you.
I respect it.
Help you, Jed. Oh, no.
Oh no! I mean, yes. I mean, that's a great line, but we were already past it.
In those
I'd work
special
with
shows.
Haley Atwell every day.
But
With two hands even.
Before you go, one question.
Yes?
Where in the galaxy is Sanusi?
Show us your tits and I'll tell you.
And these tool bags wouldn't know quality if it walked up and motorboated them. Because, you're going to motorboat quality.
Wait, what?
Quality moves. Okay, I have a good explanation as to why we have started late. All right, it's a good one. Technical difficulties. Okay, here's what happened. It's August, so I make a new intro every month. I put the clips together, and I have to do it, and I do it usually the day of the first show of the month. And I was ahead of schedule. I was fine. Everything was done. Jet arrives. We got 15 minutes to go. Loading it. Problem was the file was too large for StreamYard. And I had to edit it twice. And the rendering takes time. So I'm sorry. Yeah, it's true. I didn't know the file was too large. So I had
he
to
did
edit it.
translate properly. The translation you said is boomer.
I hate all of you. Listen, we lost people while we were waiting. And we are also buying a little bit of time. Dre's gonna be a little late. Stuck in traffic. Literally stuck in traffic. So
How racist. You're blaming him.
No, I'm saying I was buying time. Yeah, and there was a theme today. There definitely was a theme. But the theme was making people break. My theme of the clip was breaking the panel. Making everybody laugh. That was kind of the theme I wanted to go with. Anyway, sorry for the delay. Welcome, one and all. Howdy. It's Roundtable Day. Last one for a couple of weeks because no Roundtable next week. But we're mindful of that. No, we're fine. We're here. We're ready to go. And we have one thing to talk about today because it's the news. It is the news. It is Spider-Man. And wow. So we're going to talk Spider-Man, all things Spider-Man. Box office, discussion of the movie, panel review, And then I have a question I'm going to pose at the end of the show. But before that, hi, Jed.
Hi. God, your transitions, man.
Do it on
We got to
purpose.
work on this. We got to find a workshop online. Have the chat help pay for it. A
I'm
fundraising
doing it
tier.
on purpose. I make it as awkward and stunted as possible.
Well, and then when I'm awkward and confused and scrambling, the chat thinks I'm an idiot. So I'm the one who looks bad after these transitions, not you.
How you doing?
And that's exactly what you're doing it for. Oh, I am doing great. It's great to be back on another episode of The Ginger and the Jew. We're gonna have a great time talking about money, talking about a film, and it's gonna be an interesting discussion, I think, because I know what your question at the end is, and it's not as clear cut as many people online, especially on Twitter, will lead you to believe. But it's great to be here.
Yeah. And Dre will be here. He will arrive, and we'll try to save the meatier discussion from here. But anyway, hail to the chat. How you guys doing? The mods are here. Legatus, Rubinex. I don't think I saw Algrim, but he always is here somewhere to inform. Yeah, okay, listen. I explained it. Okay? I explained it. My explanation's good. Explanation is fine. Let's see who else is here. Huzzah on the Joxer. Toronto Thrash. All right. We're going to address this real quick. Okay? All right. I'm going to bring up evidence here, okay? Here's evidence. Sadie Sink is not a man. Okay? Sadie Sink. No, that's not the wrong one. Sadie Sink is a woman. A pretty young woman, too. This is Sadie Sink right here, okay? There's no Adam's apple right here.
Yeah, she's not a man. She's been acting since she was a child, a Broadway star.
Yeah. We're going to go image larger. So look at that. There's no Adam's apple there, guys. Look, no Adam's apple. Whatever that was, Toronto, I'm going to wager that person altered the image. I'm going to wager that somebody altered the image. This is Sadie Sink on some red carpet recently because this is post Stranger Things final season, stuff like that. So that's an attractive young woman with no Adam's apple. So let's just put that to bed. That is a woman. Pretty young woman. Anyway, so there it is. Dragon Lady's here. No, we didn't. We started late because I explained it. Who else have I seen? Who else got talking here as well? Let me scroll on down. Ginger Norseman is here. Hello, Ginger Norseman. Xander. Hello, Xander. The stream is dead for you. I'm sorry. I do the best I can. I am only one old boomer who makes mistakes.
I wonder how many people are upset that we didn't like the Odyssey but loved Spider-Man.
Well,
at least I love Spider-Man, but we were positive.
I love Spider-Man.
Right.
Objectively, it's a good movie, and I like certain parts of it. I
loved it. I thought it was great.
Yeah. And what do you mean? What? No. These are lies being told. But Algrim is here for a 42-month member message. Highest heralding to those who mimic fake vampires and their insomnia and somnolence. Apologies, Nerd King. Never apologize. You don't apologize or anything. But thank you, Algrim, for the 42-month member message. That's a long time. That's a member for a long time. Thank you for that constant support, my good friend. And anybody else who was watching and not chatting, we're sorry we started late, but let's get going with at least we have a warm-up. Jed and I are going to talk about it. It's really kind of out there. It's nothing to do with current discussions, but it's just something to get us a few more minutes till Dre gets here, honestly. So I got this. Jed, I know you were a fan of Claire Obscure, Exposition 33.
I was indeed.
You were a fan. You enjoyed that movie quite a bit. Game quite a bit. I enjoyed it as well. And we're looking forward to more from it. We want more from Sandfall. And I got a little article here from Niche Game. I found it a few days ago. And I want to look at this right now. So Claire Obscura Studio says its next game will be a bit crazy.
Oh, hell yeah. I hope that means they're bringing in the writers, because that's going to be wild to see. Whoa. We have lost Adam, it looks like. I'm in charge of the stream now. I do not know what that article was really about, but Claire Obscure looks like it's going to be a bit crazy in the sequel. For those of you who don't know, Claire Obscure came out about a year and a half ago now, And it was this incredible story about dealing with loss. And there we go. I was totally bullshitting.
I hit a button.
You exited yourself.
No, what I did was I was quitting another app, and for some reason, it quit. I was quitting Chrome. I thought I was quitting a different app, and I quit Chrome, which of course kicked me out of the studio. I'm swinging hard today, ain't I? It's wow.
Definitely your A game coming.
Man. Oh boy. Anyway. Yeah, so back to what I was saying. Hang on. I lost everything. I lost all my tabs because I quit Chrome. Hold on 1 second. Everything's gone. Okay, let's get this here back. All right. I was saying you liked E231, and I said, as I was reading the article title, I should give up now. I just should give up and try not to salvage this at all. Claire's its next game will be a bit crazy. And you were saying you hope, yes, hell yes, the writers should be brought in. And
I don't know how you would depict that in a video game, but I'm all here for it. If they have an idea for it, the writers would be really interesting.
Well, here's what we got. Following success of E33, developer Sandfeld Interactive has shared its early thoughts on the studio's next project. While the details are scant, the team revealed that it will likely be several years away, but driven by the same passion to find its debut RPG. So we're a ways away, but they're approaching it with the same caution and care, it seems, that they did with E33.
They're not doing a quick cash grab or anything like that.
Yeah. Speaking with Automaton, CEO Guillaume Broche said the team wants to recapture the creativity that fueled E33 rather than simply trying to make a larger game. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good. It's too early to say anything precise, but we had a lot of fun creating E33. It's a game that we love internally, so we want to find its flame. This passion again for the next project. He added that the team's next game will be a bit crazy, explaining that after spending between 4 and 6 years developing E33, the studio wants to dream big creatively once again. So that sounds like to me they're going to continue to be outside the box. They're not going to confine themselves to whatever the first game was. They're going to try and swing big again.
Yeah.
And I like
that's
that.
exactly what they should do, because the format that they created with this universe leads for boundless customization. Like a lot of games franchises, they struggle to have spin-offs. They struggle to break into new genres because it doesn't make sense. Like Pokemon, if you were actually in a Pokemon game, suddenly it becoming Power World, that would feel very jarring. But this, with the format, with the different painters, it's everyone's own creative vision in this universe can create a whole experience. So a different painter means a completely different type of game. I really, and then when you add in the writers as well, that's a whole other storytelling medium that I can't imagine what that'll look like. So this franchise is truly one of the only ones like this. It has limitless possibilities for what they can do. So the only thing that they shouldn't do is stay inside the box and be boring.
And think
safe.
about that. We know the writers exist. I would wager there's the musicians maybe out there as well.
Oh, that would be cool.
Maybe the builders, people who build buildings. There, you could slap any kind of label of some architects. I was going to say architects, but I thought maybe architects might refer to something, but you understand what I'm saying. You could slap that on just about anything and have a faction in this fantastical world.
Yeah, there are no limits. You could even have a military simulation aspect of this world and have a first-person shooter. They shouldn't, but I'm just saying they have any option.
Here's the thing: we don't know if the painters are the good guys. We don't know.
No,
we just know this one family that suffered a tragedy in their conflict with the writers, who framed the writers as antagonists. But we know that whatever the writers did, it was in retaliation to what Mael did, and from there on.
Don't you mean Clea?
Sorry, Clea. It's been well over a year since I played.
Yeah, it is. Clea was the one really waging war against the writers. Then
Mael did something stupid and in reaction. So the point is, we only know one perspective. We don't, the painters may be villains. We don't know if the writers are villains. We don't know anybody's. It might just be one of those things where nobody remembers who started this.
Yeah.
One of those
Well,
situations.
out of all the painters that we've actually met, a lot of them haven't been good people. Like Alicia's family, with the exception of Verso, they're not great.
Yeah,
I can understand them why they're
Mhm.
broken. Her parents, why they're these broken shells. Clay is just awful. Clay is
Oh, yeah.
horrible as a person. But yeah, I want to see the other side of this. See if this family is responsible for worse things and what the other painters look like. Because this
Mhm.
is it's an entire world that we only got a glimpse of. Like we
Yeah,
didn't
and
see
it's
anything outside their estate in the real world.
no, and it's an alternate Earth. You know, it has to be an alternate Earth with the rules they're playing by. So this is very interesting
Mhm.
what they're saying in there. And despite the commercial critical success of the first title, Broche made it clear that Sandfall has no intention of dramatically increasing its size. Studio currently employs around 26 people and believes that is sufficient for pre-production. That's good. You don't need 2,500 people making a game.
God no.
Ubisoft, we're looking at you. So this is cool. This is cool. I like this. We know we can't do everything and we have to focus on what matters. And I think the philosophy is what made E33 what it is. The comments align with previous statements from Sandfall's leadership, who have repeatedly said the team is not interested in chasing sales records or meeting external expectations. And blah blah blah. Now, I like this mentality.
It's a
This is
great
good
one.
development mentality, but thing is, they're also not completely resting on their laurels, as we see in this. We know in the past year they've had open meetings with Square Enix, and both teams have drawn from those conversations, those meetings, saying, yeah, you know what? We're a small company, Sandfall. We can learn from the granddaddy of them all, Square
Mhm.
and Enix, now Square Enix. And Square Enix says, you know what? These kids, they got moxie, they got spunk, and we're gonna learn from their current passion and try and refocus our attention on what made us the originals. One of the originals.
Re-inject some youthful spirit back into that company.
Yeah.
And I love that none of these discussions went towards a merger. I
No.
would have hated for Sandfall to be acquired by someone, because that's exactly what happened with, I think it was called Ninja Theory, the people who made the Hellblade games. They made an incredible first game. Then Microsoft bought them. They released a trash game. They're about to release another, and now the studio's been shut down. That's what happens. These one-off studios, if they get acquired, they quickly disappear. So this is exactly the right mentality.
Cash grab. It is
the cash grab.
It's a cash grab. It's like, okay, we just want, because they made a lot of they made a lot of money on this game, and
they're focusing on the artistic vision.
Yeah, and now let's realize they want to make games. That's what this tells me. They want to make games. They want to make entertainment for gamers, and not simply become a factory that's going to just not become EA. Oh, we're just going to push out the same sports game every year with very little changes, but we know that it's so wired into the veins of our customers, they're going to buy it anyway. No, these guys want to make games that go down, I think, in history. E33 is going to go down in gaming history as
it should.
And I think in terms of, it's going to go down in history as the beginning of a new renaissance for RPGs and single player gaming. Reminding, hey, you know what? Don't need a cash shop, don't need live service, don't need co-op is nice in some games, but don't need co-ops all the time. So I like this. I like this.
Yeah.
I like this. And it makes me feel good. And it's going to be a few years. You know what? But good things take time. I mean, a game shouldn't take more, in my opinion, 4 years. They used to churn out great games in a 2-3 year cycle back in the 90s and the 2000s and the early 20 teens. Now a game should not take more than 4 years. I'm willing to wait 4 years, but you go longer than that, and I think there's a problem.
Yeah. It does help that they're a small studio that buys them a lot of leeway in that time, but that's still a lot less than a lot of major releases. Like GTA 6 was a decade.
It's a decade, but you know what? That's kind of a weird special case. It exists in its
not
own
even just those, not even just that case. There's a lot of others that have taken a long time. God of War cycles about 4 years right now. The time it takes to make a game has expanded a lot. and the quality of games hasn't necessarily increased with it. With
And
of
that's
course,
the thing.
notable exceptions like this.
That's the thing. A game taking longer, you'd think they'd be of higher quality, but more often than not, these games come out broken, not ready to play.
Like
Everything needs a day.
Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk was 8 years.
Yeah. So,
But to answer Ginger Norseman real quick, what he said earlier, the writers might have been a meta reference to the game devs, but there are physical writers in the real world that are interacted with. They're the ones who burn Alicia and Verso. So they have a physical impact on the world.
Yeah. So there's another faction, and I would wager, I would love that there are many factions. That would.
Oh yeah, any creative endeavor could be a faction, and that's really interesting.
Imagine if there's the poets, not just the writers, but a faction called the poets or something like that. The poets. Man, that'd be
I don't know
crazy.
how you would bring a lot of these to life, especially in an independent game. You might need a specific game to cover a lot of these more abstract concepts.
I still think you use the physical aspect of their medium to transport to another world. I mean, for the painters, it was a frame and a painting. For writers, why can't it be a book or a large book? Or architects a door? Or musicians...
I just mean the physical construction of the world would be different, because in Expedition 33, it's paint
it's
that makes
part
up
of well, it's
everything.
part. I mean, that's part of the aspect of it. Yeah, the expression. I'm gonna give these guys a little goodwill and trust.
Oh, absolutely.
They've earned the goodwill and the trust that they're working on something, and that's why they're saying we want to. That's the same passion. So I'm gonna give it to them. I'll give it to them, and I'm gonna eagerly await news from it. I suspect it's going to be at least a year before we hear anything again at this point. Not to some point in 2027, we'll maybe hear something. But I thought this was a warm up. It was a warm up. We tried to give Dre a chance to get here yet, and he's still not here. So we must go on with the main topic of the show, and that is Spider-Man. As Agent Super Argo says, packed theaters at 9 a.m. and it shows. And it shows. You know why it shows? Because already, and now I gotta just reset up my tabs because I was retarded and we lost our thing here. This movie has made insane work. Why aren't you working?
Do you want me to share?
No, I got it. No, I got the numbers. My stupid thing is just being stupid. Chrome is just being dumb because it's Chrome. Anyway, now I have it. My rhythm is totally shot today. It's shot, and I have no excuse. Spider-Man Brand New Day has done the incredible. That's the best way I could put this. Incredible. A feat that has only been beaten once. Jay, this thing nearly made $1 billion in 1 weekend.
That's insane. These numbers are incredible, and they're entirely believable.
Yes.
I believe
Yes.
these. I buy my tickets 3 weeks in advance to get second row seats. These theaters are legitimately sold out. This is a legitimate success. Yes, inflation is something that still needs to be in the discussion, as always. But even with inflation for a superhero movie, these are incredible numbers that show the popularity of Spider-Man and the popularity of this version of the character. For all of the problems of No Way Home, it ended with a great promise. He's finally Spider-Man now. He's on his own. He's in New York City. He's making his suit himself. He's cut off from everybody else. He's disappointing people like you always talk about, Adam. It gave the promise. He's finally here. The origin story is practically the first trilogy. The first trilogy is like the first act of the Sam Raimi first movie. And now we're finally there. And, you know, a lot of people were excited for that promise to be fulfilled here.
And it was. And just in comparison, it's because we have to do due diligence. Spider-Man did in 3.5 days, because part of Thursday is counted in this,
right?
What it did take Odyssey to do in 2 weeks. Granted, this proves us completely wrong. Once again, we must remind everybody we got this one wrong.
Well, it's
very
3
wrong.
weeks.
3 weeks? 3 weeks. Sorry, 3 weeks. We got this one very, very wrong. And
still don't understand why people are loving it, but you know, there's enough people watching it.
I've had enough explanation now that I think I've cobbled together at least an understanding. But
it's gonna crack 1 billion next week.
Oh, it'll get 1 billion. And some people are gonna say, see, I told you. But they're cultists. And their opinions don't count for anything. Because they only believe
and money doesn't equate quality.
No. And that is the same argument you can make for Spider-Man Brand New Day. But the problem is there is actual quality in this movie. That's a thing, though.
Mm-hmm.
There is quality, and this is an actual entertaining movie, which we'll get to in a bit. But let's just talk about these numbers once again, giving Trey a chance to get here before we get into the big discussion. Jed, these numbers are insane. 160,
Oh my God,
169,
they're incredible.
169 for the 30th and the 31st total. And then on Saturday, 101 million. Today, estimating 84, probably going to go up. Because remember, when we come to you guys with our Sunday privilege, they always are adjusted by the time we get to the next day. Usually down. I think it's actually going to go up.
Well, it's already gone up today. As of this morning, there was a prediction that the final weekend numbers would be between 875 and 925. And then early this afternoon, they got the numbers in, at least enough, and it's above that prediction. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's even farther above this prediction.
I mean, these internet. Oh, we don't have all. We have international totals. We just don't have. They don't have details yet. But still, it's nuts. And Beardo said it last week. $2 billion is not out of the realm of possibility. If you if you literally just made essentially $1 billion in 3 days between domestic and international, I think in a 45-day run. Jed, how many times have you seen this already? You've seen it twice. You're going back again for a second time.
I've only seen it once. I do intend on watching it a second time, but yeah, I've seen it once. A lot of people are rewatching it, and there's really good word of mouth. It is not as controversial as the Odyssey was, and the Odyssey still managed to, at this point, already triple its opening weekend. Brand New Day just needs to double its opening weekend to nearly get $2 billion, and nearly what the last movie did. So yeah, I think this is going to end up being one of the highest grossing films of all time. I don't think it's going to get quite to the highest grossing.
No,
but $2 billion is absolutely on the table right now.
I think it will run out of steam. It's not going to have.
Yeah, it's going to be front loaded. All these Marvel movies are.
Oh yeah, it's not going to be Infinity War's Endgame juggernaut. Keep going, but this thing has I think it has a really good 3-week run in it. That first 3-week run that will get it to $2 billion at this point. And like you said, goodwill alone. There are people who don't like this movie. Let's not pretend this thing's universally held. But as you aptly pointed out a second ago, there's not the same controversy as Odyssey, where people vehemently dislike Odyssey. The things people don't like about this movie, I've seen people not like it in a few problems, but the true people who are hate, they're very few, and their comments are next. They have no real description as to why they hate this movie. They just hate it. They don't like it. Or I've heard the grift, as it were, the message that they have to put out for certain people. Why? Oh, it's just more of what they do to ruin genres and ruin this type of media for people and inserting an agenda. You know, it's forced in a way, and they don't have.
There's a lot of forced stuff. Yeah. I saw some people saying it was woke because Zendaya was with another man in the movie. She had a different boyfriend.
Her memory was wiped, and her life moved on.
I didn't want to see Peter Parker get cucked. It's like Spider-Man 2. She nearly married a different man.
Yeah, I mean, Art be Kenzo. It's Kenzo. Hey, Kenzo. How you doing, Kenzo? Yeah. See, I liked it. Objectively. I have a lot of subjective problems with it as a Spider-Man fan, which we talked about on Dermy's stream on Friday, and we're going to talk about it in a while. And Jean is a problem. Jean is a problem in this movie. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. That's a very
change, and it gets a lot better. Just the construction worker, and it gets significantly better.
Yeah. Listen, I give this movie right now a 7 out of 10, objectively. But I have a lot of subjective problems, which I didn't detail in my short review. I will detail it in our discussion this afternoon, which we're just trying to give Dre a chance to get here. But no, so I like it objectively because my subjective problems, if you switch to objective mode, they work within the narrative constraints of this movie. They still work with the world and the setting, all that kind of stuff. I disagree with them, but I can objectively say all things Zendaya, MJ, all things Ned, all the reasonings people do stuff, they fit. But I do have problems with them. I have constructive criticism problems with them, which we'll get into. But Jed, to ask this question now. Here's the question I have. Can it still be argued that there is such a thing as superhero fatigue?
I think it still can.
I mean, we ask this all the time, but you see this, and you got to question: is it an overused phrase?
I do believe it's overused, but it is absolutely a thing. It's Spider-Man. He's going to be exempt from the majority of that, no matter what. He is in a class all on his own. But I can say for myself, I have legitimate superhero fatigue.
Okay.
I don't have interest in pretty much any superhero content these days. The only reason we're going to go back and see, as much as I did think this was a good movie, my wife loved it. So if not for that, I wouldn't be rewatching it myself probably. But there's just too much content these days. No one can keep up. So that hurts it as well. But yes, superhero fatigue is a term used too much when it is bad movie fatigue more often. But there will always be people like myself who have legitimate superhero fatigue. Spider-Man is just going to be the exception. He's always going to be the exception.
I think that's a fair way to put it because, and I think Dash brings up a good point here. It's Disney superhero fatigue. And I would also say it's James Gunn superhero fatigue if we're talking about the DCU. Because
it really comes down to James Gunn a lot because his movies affected the style of Marvel. Marvel humor as a concept is primarily due to him. Yes, there was a little bit of it in Joss Whedon, but he perfected that style, and that style is still what the MCU tries to be. And now he's gone and done DC, so it is, I think you could umbrella term it by saying James Gunn superhero fatigue because it's his style.
And there's my point. I think there is superhero fatigue because people are tired of seeing a version of these heroes that they don't want. If they decided to, as we're going to talk about a little bit later, if they decided to really try and make a close adaptation, take out a story or make sure all the points are there of what makes this character a hero, their personality, how they behave, and stick to an adaptation of the adventure that they might be taking from a comic arc or something like that, I don't think there'd be fatigue. I think if Disney hadn't butchered the MCU so badly with all these different directors and all these different writers, and if James Gunn hadn't literally tried to remake DC heroes into what he wanted rather than what they are, I don't think we'd have a problem because here's the thing. In my days leading up now to my move, as the people well know, I haven't done a lot of content for the channel. I haven't done much because my mind isn't all here. I'm a little scattered mentally. I pull it together today, maybe not a good example for streams, but I'm kind of just slightly checked out until I can get reset up in my new apartment in about a week or so. But what I have been doing, been watching all that stuff, and what I've just finished doing was going through all of the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm, DC stuff, DC animation stuff. That means Batman the Animated Series, Adventures of Superman, Justice League, Batman Beyond. Took me about 2 weeks to get through it because I'm just sitting here watching it. I'm doing nothing else. A little work here, but nothing else. Just because, as I said, I'm a little unfocused right now with the move, with the impending move. All of that is timeless. Batman the Animated Series, made in the 90s, it still holds up. Superman, I hadn't seen a full watch through of Superman the Animated Series in years. I don't remember the last time I did it. It was so much fun watching Superman be Superman. Watching Justice League, which I've seen umpteenth millionth time. Watching through that. Fun. Watching Batman Beyond, sliding in there. And then I watched Green Lantern, the Animated Series, which is still produced by Bruce Timm in 2011 when he was still normal, not making Batman Cape Crusader now. So good things. These are great adaptations, and they hold up because they may not be one-to-one adapting how the comics went, but in this Earth slot in a number that they're working with, it's got the passion, it's got the respect, and it's got the integrity of the characters and how they behave and who they are, and their encounters with their villains and their worlds and this and that. And you feel the respect and the passion in all these works, and that's what hold up. So I think in the end, superhero fatigue happens because they're doing it wrong. If these things are done right, I mean, perfect example, we talked about Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 last night on Drive-In. We're going to talk about it a little bit again today at the end of the show. There's no exhaustion watching that movie. Movie's over.
I felt exhaustion watching it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah.
I go a lot of years between watching it, so I don't. And I used to
that's
watch
why I say that I have legitimate superhero fatigue, because even the old stuff that I know is great, like Spider-Man 2, or stuff that I believe when people tell me are great, like Batman the Animated Series, I have no compulsion to check it out. I think that's really the difference between bad movie fatigue and superhero fatigue, is when that delineation arises.
But you know what the thing is, and this is not a shot at you. You're still new to a lot of this stuff.
True.
You haven't watched all of the Paul Dini, Bruce Timm verse, and you never read.
I've tried the Batman the Animated Series a few times.
Yeah, but you haven't. You didn't grow up on it. You didn't read the comics. It's not your thing. You're still getting into the stuff. You're slowly wading in there sometimes like that, and you have guys like me and Dre to give you guidance here and there. This stuff, this has been a part of for more than half my life. I've been into superheroes and comics, stuff like that. So my fatigue is I'm tired of watching shit versions. When we watched Supergirl and felt the way we did, it's because it was dog shit, because it was terrible, and that was so boring. You watch all the MCU stuff, it's boring, it's butchered, and that's why we're tired. Watching Florence pew pew Yelena in this makes you roll your eyes because she's a terrible character.
She wasn't funny.
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. But then when you watch this movie and you see Tom Holland really trying to be a good Peter Parker and a good Spider-Man and getting into it, you feel it. And you're having fun, because when they do it right, it's fun. And when they do it wrong, it's not fun. So that's how I see it. I think superhero fatigue, when on the broad spectrum, not you can have your own special case. I mean, you have your own definition, and I'm not delegitimizing what you're feeling. But in my opinion, the broad spectrum of superhero fatigue is because people are tired of watching dog shit. And they watch the dog shit, and it makes them exhausted and bored. So they don't feel like going out for it. But as you said, Spider-Man is a special case. And these movies, Spider-Man movies going forward with Tom Holland, who said, I'm now willing to keep doing this for as long as they'll have me, which is, he changed his tune from a bunch of years ago. They have an opportunity here, without going into detail of the movie yet. They have an opportunity to just keep making Spider-Man movies and not make MCU movies.
Yes, just disconnect it. Use Secret Wars or whatever as an excuse to put him in his own timeline, and then just go. I don't know if there's some
not
Disney
even
rights issues.
I don't think we need a timeline. Just you don't have to interconnect it. Spider-Man as a hero, lore-wise, exists in New York City. And his world is New York City and its 5 boroughs. Maybe New York State if you want to cross over with X-Men a little bit. But what I'm saying is, all Spider-Man's adventures can be self-contained in the city. You don't need to leave New York. And you could, and that way, maybe you can have another hero sweep on in and be a part of it. But Spider-Man is essentially most of the time a loner. He does these things himself. That's why when you're dealing with the Sinister Six, it's such a big deal, because he's not going to get any help. He's going to have to fight 6 of his A/maybe B tier supervillains all by himself.
They better build up the Sinister Six in the 3rd movie of this trilogy. They got to finally.
That would be interesting if they went Sinister Six in long run. That's why the game was so good. When you played 2018, until the 3rd act starts, you didn't realize that they were building to the Sinister Six. You didn't realize it. Suddenly, if you're me and an old school Spider-Man fan, you realize, oh fuck! When he goes on that rooftop and Octavius is now full madman mode, and they all start showing you you realize the first time playing, you realize, oh fuck, Sinister Six. Here we go. And here we go is Dre.
I made it.
We started late because I fucked something up, and then we padded it, and I've been dragging out this box office discussion as much as I could.
Oh my God.
Because I wanted you here for the real part of it. But hi, Dre, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Sorry, I'm late. There was some stuff on the other side of town. There was no way I was getting out of it early.
It's fine. And we've been dragging out this box office discussion. Look at that number, Dre. Look at that number.
It's unspeakable amounts of money.
It's essentially $1 billion in 3 days.
Exactly. It's an unspeakable amount of money. So we're in $2 billion territory already.
Yeah,
so it's like
Beardo called it last weekend.
Yeah.
It is not without reason that this will hit $2 billion before it's all said and done. I think it's
100%.
The word of mouth isn't bad. Like if it were a truly horrendous word of mouth and a big drop off next week was a possibility, it would be out of question. But the word of mouth is so positive that I think it's practically guaranteed that $2 billion is on the table.
Yeah.
And I think rightfully so. But anyway, so Dre, you want to throw in any comments here before we get to the movie? Just these general comments.
Good. We haven't discussed the movie yet. Good.
We're holding off.
No, we haven't talked to you because I know you called it a mixed bag for you.
It is. It's mixed bag. Yeah, we definitely have things to discuss. But as far as this number is concerned, this does not surprise me at all. Like what Jed said, the positive word of mouth for this film, and I have to give a little credit to Tom Holland, and everybody that was that did red carpets and stuff didn't say anything ridiculous out of their mouths. Not at all. Not one hiccup. Yeah, no Mark Ruffalo. They just kept that fool locked in a cage somewhere, and rightfully so. Everybody did all the right things. Sony, Marvel, everybody that's involved did all the right stuff, and even like the what was that? The Tom Holland's like send off to the fans during the before the movie starts.
Oh yeah,
about
that was great.
Basically saying that hey, without the fans, none of this happens. We do this for you, for love, and they did every single thing right to make this movie a success, and the money speaks for itself. So it's congrats to them.
Yeah. So this is a true success, I think, and it's a success with limited controversy, very limited controversy. What we're going to discuss as we get into the review in a few moments here, as I've been saying, for me, when I look at this movie right now, when I look at Spider-Man: Brand New Day, objectively, I give it a 7 out of 10. That's my objective score. It's an objective score because, as I'm sure Dre will agree with me in a lot of ways, because I have subjective problems with this movie as a Spider-Man fan. And as some of the predictions I made. Now, I'm going to give you two a chance to give your overall thoughts before we get details. I've already given my thoughts in my tiny little review that you can still watch on this channel. This movie gets a lot of things right, but just as many things wrong. And I made two overall predictions. One was completely off base. The narrative was not a mess. The narrative, with its 3 acts, it all fit together. I kept saying, it's going to be a narrative mess, too many moving pieces. Nope. The moving parts were all in place. I disagree with it, but they all worked objectively. Thing I believe, still right on is they had a chance to separate from Zendaya, MJ, and Ned, and they have a death grip on those characters, and they're not letting go, and that's a problem for me. But either way, Jed, you really did enjoy this movie. Why don't you now give your overall thoughts without too many spoilers? How you feel about it?
Well, I just want to preface real quick. I'm not a superhero guy. I'm not a comic book guy. Spider-Man, my knowledge comes from the movies. I have seen all the movies and the 2 video games of recent years. So I'm not an expert by any means, but I really enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I think it's the best Spider-Man movie in 20 years. I felt a lot of love for the aspects of the character that I'm familiar with. The costume I thought was near perfect. Just the web shooters I wasn't a fan of. The rest of it I thought looked perfect. And the plot, like you mentioned, was very sound. There were aspects of it that I didn't love. I think it needed a much, much stronger villain. The villain was a bit weak sauce, in my opinion. But a lot of people came to act and they did their best. And I saw that. Even Zendaya, who I'm not a fan of, I think she gave the best performance of her career, at least that I've seen, particularly in one scene that we'll talk about that we can't for spoilers' sake. But the aspects that I was concerned about ahead of time, just like Adam, too many moving parts, characters that I wasn't a fan of, they worked in context and weren't a detriment to my enjoyment of the film. Like Ned and MJ, I wish they would have gone a different direction with their character and fully moved past them, but they were fine. Limited screen time. Same thing with Yelena Belova. She was not in it a whole lot. And Mark Ruffalo's Hulk. I think it integrated into the story well. It would have worked a lot better if we had seen Hulk and Spider-Man share screen time before this, because with the exception of the battle at the end of Endgame, I don't think they've ever been on screen together. And they had no dialogue during that. It was just the wide shots. You could see both of them at the same time. So there's no character buildup there. But yeah, overall, thought the action was incredible. They clearly had influence from the video games, and I loved that. Absolutely felt like the game. So my wife absolutely loved it. We're going to go watch it again because I enjoyed it a lot. I really did enjoy it quite a bit. And I put it, below the first two Toby movies, but I think it slots in as the third best.
And you going to see it again is the same thing a lot of people are going to do. They're going to go see it again. That's why it's going to get $2 billion. People are going to go see this movie 2 or 3 times very easily. Now, Dre, you called it a mixed bag.
Yes, for me, this film was a mixed bag. Let me preface with the positive. It's a well acted film, no question. What was given, everybody delivered. The action sequences, like Jed said, are top notch. The animation budget, you can see where all the money went. This is a well made film, and what Jed said also true. And you, Adam, the acts did connect to each other, and all that great stuff. This was not a film for me. And I think that's where it kind of just goes down to. This was filmed as a drama, and I was expecting a superhero film.
Exactly.
So it was a drama. This felt more like One Tree Hill than daggone superhero film. So I went in here wanting something different than what I got. And in my personal opinion, I don't think I got what I paid for. I wanted dumb spider fun, and I did not get that. So on that side, I am disappointed. Now, as far as logistics are concerned, when it comes to Spider-Man stuff, the opening montage showing all the the villains and stuff, I wish that was the movie. Personally,
10 seconds of Tombstone.
Yeah, I wish that montage was the movie. And once again, we're not going to get into too many spoilers, but what Jed said, there's a major villain problem, a huge gaping hole of a villain problem. It's missing, and that's what the MCU has always had, villain issues, but this one was egregiously horrible. It like literally, it was so distracting how there was like you said, no real villain in this movie, and then of course the quote unquote antagonist of the story faces no consequence for their actions, so on and so forth. I really have a big problem with. And then, of course, our hero doesn't beat the villain, but talks them down. That garbage, that MCU trash, that Phase 4, Phase 5 trash. Like, you don't beat the bad guy. You talk to them about their feelings, and then they... This is not what I wanted. This is not what I wanted at all. I wanted the opening montage. I wanted the opening montage of Spider-Man doing Spider-Man things, defeating villains, and saving people. That's the movie I wanted. And I got One Tree Hill. So I'm disappointed, but like I said, it's a well-made film. If you are into dramas, you're going to have yourself a great time. If you're into MJ and Ned and stuff, you're going to have a great time. I'm not into any of these characters. So I went in disappointed. And I think a lot of people in my theater were disappointed too. There was no whoops and whops and hollers and because there was no heroic moments. There was none of that. None of that was in this film. So I am very disappointed. But now I am not ignorant to the fact of the success of this film and why it's so successful. I'm not ignorant to the fact of that. But as far as my personal preferences were concerned, it just wasn't for me.
And here's how I say it. Now let's start opening the door to spoilers. But I want to add one thing to what Dre said. I don't disagree with anything you just said. Why I think the movie is good comes from the fact that Spider-Man himself is not disrespected in this movie.
Absolutely. That is correct.
Spider-Man is treated with the almost like he has the mask on for 80% of the movie.
Yeah.
I mean, and that is something that we don't get enough of. Superheroes and the costumes. The costume is as close to classic as we've seen, which was
very
glorious for me. But also, and for the most part, Tom Holland behaves like Peter Parker and Spider-Man. He behaves like, but that's where the problems kind of begin, because Dre, as you said, that opening montage, I think that was a brilliant opening montage showing that he's been Spider-Man now for 2 years, actively doing that. We see him fighting, granted, only a few minor villains, and we all were right. Scorpion was just thug villain of the moment in Act 1, was not more than that. Great. We thought Tombstone was going to be in it. No, he was just in it for 10 seconds. Would have been nice. But the problem is this then. It is locked to the fact of what you just said, Dre. Zendaya, MJ, and Ned. They are baggage that they should have jettisoned. They had to be in this movie. Let me make sure I'm saying that. For its own narrative, they had to have some role in this movie.
Yeah, of course.
But I subjectively think it could have been executed differently, because the whole product of this movie, the whole process of the movie is about Peter moving on from his previous events, everything up to and at No Way Home. It's another part of his life. And when he ended the last movie, even though he was sad that he didn't read the letter to MJ, it should have been, I'm ready to move on.
Yep.
But this movie walks us into a mildly depressed Peter, because he turns himself to Spider-Man workaholic.
Yep.
Doesn't make any relations. And as Jed and I were talking about in our discussion of Spider-Man 2 last night, one thing is always a constant in Spider-Man's life. He had Aunt May. Because if you followed the proper procedure and made Uncle Ben the turning point, he still always had the grounded family of Aunt May, whether she knew his identity or not. He could always go back there, and it kept him connected to the world. Dre, how important is it that a superhero must have their secret identity? It keeps them grounded.
It's what separates their lives, so that they can actually have a life outside of the mask. So it's really, really important.
It keeps them sane.
Yep.
I was just watching Superman the Animated Series the other week, and at one point Clark says, no, I need to be Clark Kent. I can't be Superman 24/7. I can't be. I lose myself. He needs to be Peter Parker. And the problem this movie stems from, one of the problems is that are connected to this movie is the MCU is tainted beyond repair, if you ask me. There's no fixing the MCU at this point. And every time this movie has to connect itself to the MCU, it's touching the poo. And you shouldn't touch the poo.
Poo touch.
You shouldn't touch the poo. And every time it shows up, one, it's shackled to no Uncle Ben and Aunt May being dead, which means they had to write a story where Peter is depressed and has no connection. It's shackled to people like Florence Pew Pew Yelena, who was obnoxious and terrible. Horrendous.
Peter was great in those scenes, but
that's him. But she's part of it. Mark Ruffalo Hulk. Yes. Does it work in the narrative of the movie? Yes. But it should have been Doc Connors' Lizard, as we knew from the leaks. And Dre, did you know this? In my post-movie searching, as I was putting stuff together, did you know? Remember the trailer when we heard Keith David doing the voiceover?
Yeah,
life? And when he's listening to the video while he's working on the inhibitor, rumor had it Keith David was supposed to be Doc Connors.
See, that makes sense to me. Well, that would make sense.
Great.
Yeah, because that would have made sense.
And even though it would be a race swap, it's Keith freaking David.
Yeah. His voice coming out of the lizard in full transformation mode would have been incredible.
It would have been Goliath, which would have been cool.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
So you go into it like this, and now this is what Jed's already heard this. So I'm going to pose this now to Dre. Here is my subjective fixes for this movie, and I want your opinion on this. Jed liked some of it. Dermy didn't really like it, but you're a Spider-Man guy, so you're going to understand where I'm coming from this. Okay, here's how, in my opinion, you make these changes and subjectively fix this. Okay, Peter does not start the movie super depressed. Doesn't. Sure. Because he's taking his own advice and the track left him on. He's trying to move on, but he still is hurting inside, missing his best friend and the woman he loved. Sure. Blonde chick in the building. That could have been Gwen Stacy.
And she could have done anything.
Yeah.
Anything. It could have made her Gwen.
Felicia.
You know what I mean? That would be great. Felicia, I mean, she's not high enough to be Felicia, but
No, I know, but I'm just throwing out.
The principle remains the same. She still could have been.
I would have gone Gwen Stacy.
Love interest.
On Gwen Stacy, it's an easy introduction, and Peter trying to grow again, trying to make connections, and watching him over that period of time make a connection. Maybe he meets Harry Osborn, replaces Ned. Just meets him because he's actually going to school where he meets Doc Connors, Keith David Doc Connors, and we see in the early montage the relationship. Okay, all that stuff is happening. We see him trying, but then as he's doing stuff, as he gets involved with whatever Jean Grey is doing to damage control, he sees MJ again, and it twinges him. Or let me say it for Zendaya MJ. I have to remember to say Zendaya MJ.
Yeah,
Zendaya MJ, and you have to have her in it because the scene where she breaks his heart after she makes him take after being on Frank's boat, that scene is necessary. He must have his heart broken to get his closure. Do you agree with that?
Sure. And
just rephrase it. Not that scene, but have a
yeah. And I think that's important. I think that scene can be important, but I still think it's not necessary because it's kind of like, okay, so the breakup happened in the previous film. All right, we have the breakup.
Yeah.
If it were me, honestly, I wouldn't have either of these people in this film.
Oh, if I had all my brothers, I agree.
Yeah, have it set while they're still at MIT, only like 2 years afterwards or something. So they're still in Boston.
Yeah, so they're not here. They're not involved. The man's moving on with his life. I think the inclusion of these two characters, once again, because this is One Tree Hill and not a superhero film, it is literally here so we can just stir up drama. And I got to give credit. Even Zendaya, legendary block of wood, was able to emote in this film.
Yeah.
So I give credit where credit is due, but it's so unnecessary.
Mm-hmm.
Having them in this film is so unnecessary. Like what Adam said, have that blonde girl in the elevator be Gwen Stacy or Felicia Hardy or anybody, random hoes. It doesn't matter. It just somebody else to be a love interest with this man. And if you want to include Harry, like he meets him at the subway. Who cares? Like just anybody else would have helped move this character forward.
And that's
like we went into a loop, a complete circle.
And that's my point. This movie would have been better served breaking away from what they did. But I say keep her breaking his heart because pay homage to what you set up, but have it done so he can get his clean break, his complete clean.
It's closure.
That's why
it's an open-ended question mark from No Way Home. If she just breaks his heart, it's over. There won't. It's the whole thing with George Lucas talked about why he had Yoda play such an important role in Return of the Jedi. He talked to a child psychologist who said people are not going to believe from Vader that he's Luke's father. So he had a person of authority. Yoda solidified that. Having Zendaya break his heart solidifies that, so that question isn't there anymore.
And that's why I'm saying, in my revision of it, you still need that moment. Doesn't have to be on the boat like that, but he needs to come across her and maybe just have a random narrative-induced conversation where he understands that she's never going to be his again. And you need to do so that then he can fully move on because, Dre, Peter Parker's love life as Spider-Man in lore is peaks and valleys.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, Gwen Stacy break up, come back together, accidentally kills her.
Yeah.
And then has this fling with Felicia, which is fun, but you're not bringing Felicia home to Aunt May. You're not doing
not
that.
At all.
And then Aunt May, you got to meet my friend's niece. You got to meet her. She's great. Oh, I don't have time. And then suddenly, oh, whoa, you face a tiger, you just hit the jackpot. I mean, then you get your adult relationship. And if they understood what they were doing completely, you could show us that Zendaya MJ, Michelle, is his young love. And it's okay for him to have the heart broken and move on without snapping her neck by accident. Because they resolved that in No Way Home that she didn't get her neck snapped. She wasn't going to die. Just resolve it and move on. So, but you lean more into the lore. That's what I'm saying. Make it Gwen Stacy. Have him meet Harry to replace Ned. And then move forward. You can then go deeper into Spider-Man lore. But then we got the bigger problem that we all agree is a problem. we didn't need Jean Grey in this movie. We didn't.
Woo!
No.
Now, if Sadie Sink had been the real Mary Jane, hey, sign me up.
That's fine. We got our
Sign me
redhead
up.
broad. Like, let's
Yeah,
get the
sign
show
me up.
started.
But it's Jean Grey out of place and behaving, granted, pushed to her limits, not out of fault, but as Jed said, up until her killing that construction worker to walk him into the car.
Yo,
that was the one thing that I think
Yeah.
they took her way too far. Cut out that, and her redemption arc isn't as jarring. At least I can see the potential for redemption if you cut out that. But that is just too far, man.
she killed a guy straight
She
up
did.
and down.
And the
Straight
other
up.
villain isn't good at all either. He doesn't have any presence.
Well, there's the point, though. Here's the point, though. Dre, where's a Spider-Man villain in this movie?
None. There's none to be seen.
You have a rogues gallery equal to Batman's to pull from. And there's nobody pulling the strings. And I think it's because they're cowards. Because you just had Norman Osborn or Sam Raimi Norman Osborn, you had Sam Raimi Doc Ock. You're being a coward and not going, you don't want to touch the Lizard again for reasons. You have, granted, the Lizard is a tragic hero, not meant to be a string puller. But
all the same. Pull anyone.
Yeah.
Just get any. You gave me nobody. Rhino.
Yeah,
let's do Rhino. Let's.
Rumor
let's
has
do
it was
anything.
supposed to be the Jackal, who I had to go look up, and that's like C tier.
Yeah,
that dude's amazing.
Yeah.
Man, that would have been.
I would have cut out Jean Grey and dove into Man Spider fully, make that the central arc, and have Kraven come for him.
Yeah,
Kraven be
that'd
the
be
big
nice.
bad.
Well, yeah, that's rewriting the whole movie. That's. I mean, we
rewriting
don't
the
know.
whole
That
movie.
might have been original draft because there are rumors that
For
they
minor,
made it too scary at one point, so we can't do this for kids. So,
okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, minor change wise, if you're going to keep Jean, your idea of who can replace Metzger is a good one.
But yeah, it had to be somebody. And I would say, and Jed, you had a good idea, and we talked about this yesterday, that Peter maybe knowing that Norman Osborn exists as a potential threat, trying to get involved. That's maybe Dre. That's how he meets Harry, because maybe he's trying to get close to Oscorp and get that. But we're just spitballing here. Just
Yeah, no. But what you're saying,
And-
like, I agree with you.
Yeah.
It's just that they didn't do anything, and
But
that's
my point
that's
is
the problem.
the art they could have gone down was Peter wants to make sure his world's Norman Osborn doesn't turn evil. But the fact is, as you well know, Norman Osborn is always evil. The Green Goblin,
inevitability.
Green Goblin just intensified it. He was always an evil man, unlike Harry, who was made crazy by the serum.
Mhm.
But Norman was always the Green Goblin.
Yep.
Even without the serum. So that would have been a great arc to go through. Maybe not in this movie, but lead up to that. Yeah, you can't avoid what this man is. He will be evil. Norman Osborn pulling the strings. You can't touch Kingpin because that's the poo. And Dre, you were right. No Daredevil. But in my defense, that scene looked like a prison. That was why I said that. In the trailer, it looked like a prison. So why is the hand there for Daredevil? Oh no, the hand are just puppets.
Yeah, they're just there. The hand is just there.
And that's clearly not the MCU hand, because this movie said that they're just a bunch of teenagers. Like, I thought there was a whole organization.
Exactly.
Yes.
And
it's a whole organization of assassins. There's 5 kids, and they're like, oh, they're on our side now. That's what I'm saying. Every time that they were trying to do something, I just got offended just sitting there. I'm like, what did we? I mean, every time I look, like, we're not doing anything.
I think we're being offended because we're Spider-Man guys and we want the Spider-Man stuff. But
yeah,
even that's why objectively it works in the movie objectively. I just think they could have gone a different direction and made this another thing. And Kellamore, the problem is they can't touch any of these characters.
All the Spider-Man villains are too recent, either from the video games or
Sony.
the recent movie. Between No Way Home or the villain movies.
All of them. All of them. So they had to be brave and just go, fuck it. Let's do it.
Just accept one of them.
Let's do it.
Because Scorpion is the only one that hasn't been live action before. So,
well, the point is, where we thought that Daredevil might be in this because the Roosevelt Island fight scene at the end, it looked like a prison fight in the trailer. So we were speculating that Daredevil might be introduced in that moment to help him. But of course, that was just it was a red herring. It wasn't going to happen.
Yep.
But this movie's missing a Spider-Man villain pulling the strings, manipulating Jean Grey. You insert that and it solves a lot of problems. but we have no villain fight. And while, and again, objectively speaking, Peter talking down Jean using his memory of Aunt May, it works in the narrative about both of them learning to move on and look for hope, about Peter finding hope, because as I said, Peter is supposed to have the anchor that is Aunt May. But here's the problem. Peter didn't make an effort to move on.
At all.
At all.
It went a full circle.
Yeah.
It's a full circle. They skipped years, but it's a full circle.
And the problem, like, the theme was less about moving on and more accepting that you need people. You need people to rely on, family, support, whatever it may take form of. Because, yeah, it wasn't necessarily about Jean letting go, as in more Jean letting someone else in.
Same difference as far as I'm concerned. It's still along the same lines of learning to put everything in its place and understand and not dwell on the negatives, finding hope. It's about finding hope and liking yourself, because Peter's whole arc in this is about not only moving on, but he also has to learn to like himself, because the whole inhibitor plot arc in this is about him. It's rejecting.
He does get a major power upgrade with that.
And
so
I have a problem.
Very weak anymore.
I have a problem going full organic like that, because that's what makes him unique. Having and one of the positive things about this movie is that we're seeing genius Peter Parker at work here. And I like seeing genius Peter Parker. But when you take away web shooters, you take away part of his genius, part of his ingenuity, making tools and things to work with his webbing, stuff like that. Now it's organic, and he evolved into a higher version of himself. And yeah, cool, he can kick more ass, but I don't want to see him go in direction of Raimi Spider-Man. I want him to still be his own. It's little things. That's what I'm saying. In the movie, it works, and it makes it a good movie on its own. But subjectively, I have the issues, and I would have made changes. And as Dre said, full circle, Ned at the end there. No, don't do it. You can walk away, because what happens then? Oh, Zendaya MJ knows who he is. Oh, she's still holding the item, the orchid. It's all there to repeat itself. It's just going to start all over again. Oh, she'll fall in love with him again. Oh, Ned's still his bro.
And that's why I really like how you keep putting it. They're painted into a corner from either what the previous films have done, the connection to the MCU, or the fact that Tom's married to Zendaya and he has creative influence. He's never going to let it move past his wife.
Yeah. And it's both, it's respectful for their movie and their own timeline and narrative, but it's keeping you from evolving now, in my opinion. And to me, that's the difference, where you could have taken this in a more lore-oriented direction and made new, fresh lore with characters, but now you're locked into the pattern. And I gotta be honest, and Dre, I said it, you said a minute ago, who really liked Zendaya, MJ, and Ned?
No one.
No one I've ever talked to. Not really.
The Zendaya fans on Instagram, but they don't spend money at the theaters.
Yep.
Because all her movies flop.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is why, I'm with Dre on the mixed bag, but that's why I keep saying objective, subjective. I give this movie all the credit in the world, but I like Dre. I wanted something else, because I'm watching it. I'm sitting there watching it, and like you, I'm not excited ever during the movie. I'm enjoying watching Peter Parker be Spider-Man. I'm enjoying the Spider-Man moments. I'm enjoying it when they're not touching the MCU, but then here comes Zendaya, MJ. Here comes Ned. Here comes MCU. Here comes Mark Ruffalo, Hulk. While, yes, impressive fight scene, but would have meant more if it was the Lizard.
It is the best Hulk we've gotten in a decade.
It's actual Hulk, but still.
And once again, that's did we need to bring Savage Hulk back to the MCU? Absolutely, 110%. This is the first time Hulk has been a Hulk since Avengers: Infinity War. So seeing Hulk again, at the beginning. So that's good, and that's important, and that's wonderful. This is not the film for it though. And that's where I have my issue. Well, I have a lot of issues, but you know what I'm saying? Like okay, we have Hulk, great, and the scene is great, but it ultimately means nothing. Yes, it only means nothing because then he falls off the building and then we don't see him anymore. So I'm like, it was literally like, it's just like a segue. Like, hey, do you want to wake up after she's been watching One Tree Hill for the last hour? You want to wake up like, hey, here's the Hulk destroying stuff. I enjoy the scene. Hulk was doing Hulk's things. I was having fun for those few minutes. Then it was back to feelings, and it was just not what I wanted, man. It was just not what I wanted. It just wasn't what I wanted.
You wanted a Spider-Man movie.
I wanted a Spider-Man movie. Yeah. I wanted No Way Home again. I wanted dumb fun. I want Spider-Man just doing a bunch of Spider-Man stuff, a bunch of cool villains doing nefarious things and kidnapping people and throwing people off buildings. Like, this is what I wanted. I didn't get any of it. It was like it's a 2 hour and 20-minute movie if I marked it right.
Yeah.
And it's about 90 minutes of talking and feelings. And then there's some action sequences in between, very good action sequences, but it's mostly just
practical web slaying.
Yes, all the action sequences worked well, but it was ultimately meaningless because this is a drama and not a superhero movie. So he doesn't save the day. And they can say whatever they want, like, oh, he talked her down and she stopped freezing people. I don't care. Did she face justice? No. Then he didn't save the day. When you use a character that everyone knows is going to be a good guy, when you know, no matter where you go with this story, that Jean Grey is going to be a hero at some point, and she has to join the X-Men or whatever. Her origin, I'm not going to get into that because that's just an absolute dumpster fire. Because I don't think Sony could use the word mutant. It's just so much crap that they couldn't use. And using Jean Grey was a mistake. Using Jean Grey was a horrible mistake. Use any other villain that deals with telepathy or telekinesis. That's it. Just pick one. And just pick one and do that so somebody can get some comeuppance. What once again, how they used her ability, I thought was unique. Her jumping and all that stuff like that, and making everybody a target. Stage one Gene. Yeah. I thought it was nice and creative and anybody could be the enemy. I thought that stuff was fine. But when she started killing Bammers, I'm like, okay, she's a legitimate villain now. She must be stopped because she's killing people.
Yeah, killing that construction worker, that's the only time she actually kills someone.
Yeah.
That is the one moment. Cut that out, and her redemption is justified, I think.
Because, I mean, Kelmore, we hear what you're saying about this and that, but it still doesn't make it right that they injected Jean Grey into this prior to immunity. It doesn't make it right. We needed Spider-Man characters and Spider-Man villains, and that's the problem. The guy in charge of that's subjective, dude. That's subjective.
She still put that guy in danger and knew
that's subjective. That's completely subjective. That he froze. That's your perspective. There's no actual evidence of the choice. Peter doesn't say anything. Peter doesn't do anything. That's a subjective point. But what we're saying is this, though. The actual guy in charge of damage control, he's an X-Men villain. He's an X-Men villain. He's an X-Men villain. That is the
boring one at that. They hyped up this actor like he was going to be extraordinary in this and be legendary. I don't think he acted at all.
Didn't do anything. No one did anything.
And that is the point of this. This movie, while in its own narrative is working, the problem is you have next to Batman the greatest rogues gallery in comic book history next to Batman. And you couldn't take one mastermind from that and slot them in to be the one behind damage control using maybe a false name. This is their birth as a Spider-Man villain in this world. You couldn't choose one. You couldn't take one.
Yeah.
Granted, so many of them were used recently, but that's the problem. You have to be brave and say, you know what? they're not those versions. We make our version. And I think the public and fans would be okay with it. I don't think they run away from it. If you injected a fresh Norman Osborn, if you made it, and it can't be Kingpin because Daredevil aborted has already fucked him over. He's unusable right now.
Yeah,
but
he's unusable.
He's unusable,
Yeah.
and it's an easy leap. You could have made it one of the gangsters, one of the many gangsters.
Anything. You could have done anything. And once again, I got to touch on the narrative just for a hot second. Jean Grey may be the dumbest antagonist I've ever seen in film. Once you understand what she's after, this movie went over in about 5 minutes. Just stand outside the freaking building, wait for any of the guards to show up, jump into them, and then go inside the building.
They do actually explain that. So they have the device that can detect psychic activity, and they have the enhanced individual security system that everybody goes through. So they would be able to tell it was her and lock up the person she's possessing.
But all the same, if she jumped into the director, I guarantee he can just go around it. He could just go in there, like, Jed, work with me here.
He knows he's dealing with telepathic.
No. Like, if she just took control of him.
I don't think she knew who he was, though. She didn't know who he was, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, just speculatively. Once we figure out what she is after, everything she does doesn't make any sense. Just think about it. We were with Peter when she finally invades the building. When she takes over the Hulk, I assume she takes over the Hulk and then just goes into the building. The building's always been there. She didn't know the CEO dude was there.
So she kept trying she rated, I think, 10 or 15 damage controls. Yeah. She didn't know which one had any information. She kept looking for VMAX, and she didn't know who was tied to her sister. She didn't know that Metzger was connected to that, didn't know who he was. And Metzger, I do believe that since he knew that he was dealing with telepathic antagonists, there would be a safety net for if he comes in possessed, they would still prevent him from entry. He seems like a very intelligent character.
Yes,
I don't think
seems
intelligent. True. But he doesn't seem necessarily to be an egotistical character that would have overrides for himself no matter what under any circumstances, especially when dealing with telepathic enemies. So she didn't know what she was looking for, where it was, who it was. She just knew damage control took my sister. Let me check a bunch of damage controls. And she did start by possessing people. I think the bomb in the tank is a wild.
I think that I explain that as she says, if you're part of damage control, you're tainted. I don't give a shit.
That means she's a murderer.
Yeah.
Fair point.
She's willing to be a murderer, at least.
She was willing to murder. Like, the fact she accidentally didn't kill anyone was not her plan. Her plan was to commit grisly murder. You put a bomb in a tank and send it into a building. Your intent is to kill everyone. There's no getting around that.
No, you're right.
There's no getting around that. This is a horrible
No, they
person.
didn't. No, they didn't. Fox Jean Grey is just as bad. Not as bad, but Fox Jean Grey is just as borked. Don't start the Dragon Lady. Don't start that.
Fox Jean, this is what I would say. At least Fox Jean was a character that I can be like, she's not a terrible person that gets corrupt. Now, those movies are bad. Or her depiction is bad.
Yeah.
But she is still a character. I can be like, oh, like even in the first movie, like, oh, she's kind, she's warm, she's nice.
She's just there.
She sucks. She sucks. But she's there. This woman that we're dealing with here is an evil psychopath. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Her intention was to kill innocent people. No question. You took control over an innocent old lady to drive a tank through the streets, knocking over cars, all that stuff. If Spider-Man's not there, hundreds of people are going to die. This person is not a redemption.
And
this is an evil person.
And that's the mistake of taking a character that doesn't belong in the situation, which is Jean Grey.
Yeah.
That is the fault of the writers. That is the fault of their choice, and that's the fault of working with whatever the MCU needs them to do, because that's part of it.
Well,
They're following some line where she has to connect to the MCU.
Yeah, no choice.
And I'm not trying to justify Jean Grey here, her betrayal,
Yeah.
but could they be setting her up to be susceptible to Magneto's anti-human rhetoric?
That would be a drastic change.
And that
Well,
would be
since
a-
she's willing to go after anyone who
Well,
tortures
it-
her
well-
sister, the damage control aren't people to her. I think that would have the potential to be utilized and manipulated.
You would
by
have to have
Magneto.
Magneto get a hold of her first before going to Xavier.
Yeah, that's what I mean, is having something like that happen, because we don't know who any of these people are. The rumor right now is Jensen Ackles is rumored to play Magneto. I don't know if that's true.
I
but
haven't heard that one yet.
yeah, we don't know who's playing the MCU's versions of these characters, or if the School for Gifted Children has been established. So it could be Magneto first. And if that's what they were building to, her betrayal, I think, makes sense. Once again, in the context of the story they're trying to tell.
And that's what it boils down to. I'm just going to go back up here for a second.
Yeah.
And the whole thing we're saying, Kelmore, because Kelmore's been, arguing with us politely and counterpointing us in the chat, which is fine. It's, as the movie itself, of course they did okay. The movie has been completely well received. And as I keep saying,
And I really liked it.
We're making subjective nerd nitpicks here is what we're doing. As people who, at least on my and Dre's side, we know a lot of this lore, we know a lot of these characters, and we want to see them portrayed closer to the way they're supposed to be and not done that way, or make better choices to get away from the MCU slop. But I think we've kind of made the case that, and as you as well agreed in the chat there, they are irrevocably tied to the MCU.
Absolutely.
There is no escaping it. And while this movie and this franchise, this Spider-Man franchise, is the best way to do stuff without the MCU, they could make Spider-Man movie after Spider-Man movie without connecting to anything else going on in the MCU, and they would be, and they would and will likely be wildly successful. But they are shackled by the rules of the MCU. Hence, you're having to use Yelena and her bathhouse and trying to tell us that they're the fucking Avengers. Oh,
can anybody explain to me what that was about?
It's trying to bolster that. Oh, they're the Avengers now. Little potatoes, you two little potatoes. Fuck you. Shut up.
I don't believe the fucking Thunderbolts could handle big potatoes. All right, they have two superpowers between them.
Thunderbolts wouldn't
yes,
be
they're
able to
not the
handle
new
Jean.
Avengers.
Jean would have wiped the floor with them in this.
Yeah, what would they have done?
And was the bathhouse supposed to be a running joke or something?
I think it was just a way to introduce Peter in his underwear and the mask. That's a big meme from the video games.
So they
wanted an
that's
excuse to have that.
It's an old joke, yeah. But
okay.
Yeah,
I didn't understand. I was like, okay, why are you in a bathhouse? I'm like this is my office. I'm like, oh god. I'm like,
yes, at least one.
Spooky. She definitely walked that one poor dude into that car.
Oh yeah,
she
dead.
was willing to kill a lot of other people, but that's the one that she absolutely did kill.
Definitely one willing murder.
She attempted to kill everybody in the building.
Yeah.
And failed, but she absolutely unequivocally murdered that dude when she walked him into the street to get hit by a freaking car.
And that's an old man. It's not like he could have bounced back from
that man's body folded in half. He's done. That man's with Jesus now.
I mean, when she throws Zendaya MJ off the building, she knows Peter's going to catch her.
But nonetheless, that's attempted murder.
Yeah,
that's attempted murder. Whether you know she's going to do it, like he's going to save her.
We have one definite premeditated murder by walking 100% into the car.
100%. That man is with Christ.
That leads to the problem. And that's once again, I blame the writers for trying to make Jean evil in that moment when you don't have to.
It was shock value.
Yeah, shock value. You would have been better served having her being manipulated by a larger Spider-Man villain. That would have served the story much better. Then we can feel the compassion and we can feel the understanding. Oh, you did that. You did all this stuff because you were manipulated. Somebody pulled your strings.
Or somebody else had her sister and lied. Like there's so many ways this thing could have been better without actually making her a villain. Making her a villain. Like, they said to them, whoever's pulling the strings. Oh, they said my sister was here. oh my God, my sister wasn't here. And then like, yes, I lied to you, you red-headed whore. I had your sister the whole time. She's my slave. She's my slave. Like, oh my God, you deceived me. And then they team up and then fight the villain. That's the way you do that.
Let me get a fight. I mean, the fighting the hand and the possessed hand, it's
ridiculous.
It's just an excuse to show us Peter coming to terms with everything. All it is a vehicle for Peter.
I think it was a really good fight, but shouldn't have been the climax.
Once again, objectively, well choreographed. It looks cool. It all looks cool. But there's the problem. It's not a necessary Peter Parker moment. Because here's my example, and I said this to Jed and Dermy the other day, and I'm going to say it again now, and Dre will really back me up on this one. I know he will. Spider-Man has his low points in plenty of arcs.
Absolutely.
Where he has to come to terms with himself and his purpose. My favorite one, and my favorite comic book of all time, just happens to be Spider-Man comic book, is Maximum Carnage.
Yep,
we are
junk. That's your junk.
I always go back to it. You know I do. And in this case, it is proper discussion material.
Yeah.
Maximum Carnage. We're in the third act. Carnage and Shriek have the city in chaos. Shriek, through her amplification, is making everybody nuts. And Peter has had his ass handed to him so many times. He's gone through 3 different teams at this point to start it. He's on his own. And he's just, what am I doing here? What am I doing? I can't stop any of this. I'm worthless. Then he swings onto a rooftop and he sees a mother holding her daughter by the leg over the edge of the building, going, this stupid brat constantly blah, blah, blah. I'm just going to get you out of my life, kill me. And Peter talks her down. And he manages to bring her back to her sanity. And in that moment, he realizes, I'm the one that saved that little girl. Not Cap. Not anybody else's. Cap is active in this story at this point. He's leading the ground forces there trying to get control. Not Cap. Not Mr. Fantastic. Nobody else in the city doing stuff. Granted, Reed Richards there. You know what I'm saying? I'm the one that saved her. I made that difference. And it restores his hope and his faith.
Yep.
And so there are ways to have Peter Parker, Spider-Man, feel at his lowest and then do something that only he could do.
Yep.
No one else. And that's what that moment is supposed to be, Peter coming to terms with himself. But it's executing this movie in a way that just doesn't get it. It works in the movie, but then I'm not satisfied like Dre isn't satisfied.
Yeah. And
that's
like,
the problem.
like what Jed was saying, like it's a very, very well choreographed scene. It's well done. It's well put together. It just wasn't for me. Once again, it just pushed more towards the drama angle. It about Peter coming into terms with himself. I would have been preferred if that scene he takes the inhibitor chip off, which I guess they're establishing was going to be used on mutants, but that's a conversation.
That's people
for
been
another
saying
time.
that. People have been saying that for the past 24 hours. I've been seeing that Peter invented Genosian collars.
Yeah, exactly. Tremendous. He is the ultimate villain now. Jesus Christ. And so I would have preferred, let's see, he goes full freaking man spider. If he went full freaking man spider after taking off that inhibitor chip and just started whooping these dudes, all eight limbs, whatever you want to do, and just starts tearing into everybody, and then even resist Jean Grey's psychic ability, all that stuff. Now I'm like, okay, now it's time for him to find a reason to control himself. They made this man control himself instantly, the whole point of his transformation is that he cannot control himself because he was beating the crap out of Scorpion and all that stuff, and without hesitation. Now he has hesitation because he believes in Jesus. I don't know. And like he's like, oh, that hand is gonna get impaled on there. I'm still a good guy though. Whoop. I'm like, wait, no, that flying ninja monkey should have been impaled, and I would have clapped. But you took my clap moment away from me because now I'm like, oh, he's going insane.
And then it would have been good because then Peter needs to feel guilt.
Yes, remorse.
There needs that's what's missing.
I think they got him enough guilt when he nearly killed the cop. That was a great moment.
Jed, darn it, Jed. You know I love you. You are.
That was a really good moment.
You are my redhead Jesus. Listen, I like that fight sequence. I think that fight sequence is very good. It's well choreographed.
Except for Scorpion's helmet.
What was that about?
Anyway, wearing a helmet.
Yeah.
I was waiting for you for that one. Why is he wearing the helmet?
Yeah, that kind of pissed me off. I would really like to have the Scorpion helmet at any point. That cop is collateral damage. That cop was driving into an active battle zone, and Scorpion's body was being flung like a ping pong. And he comes in contact with the cop. The cop was not the target. He was collateral. If Peter was like, man, get these cops out of here, and then literally threw him.
In very good control of the collateral. Like the kid earlier in the movie with the tank scene, he managed to swing that kid out of the way, say, hey, how you doing? All right, see you later. Peter's really good at keeping an eye on collateral, keeping in control of the situation. So he lost control and collateral happened. Like, he wasn't trying to kill her, obviously.
Yeah.
But him losing control and creating a collateral, especially through a direct action of his own.
Sure.
Because he actively swung Scorpion into her.
Oh,
that
100%.
is a new thing for him, a thing that he should feel guilty about.
Yes. And that's fine. I don't mind him feeling bad for her getting hurt. I've got no problem with that because that's what Spider-Man would feel.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that scene is strong enough for a face turn for him at the end taking off the freaking chip. I just doesn't feel like it because the cop was absolutely
I'm just talking
innocent.
about killing. I'm just talking about feeling guilty over killing the hand.
Sure.
Not about taking off.
Sure thing. My thing, like that's just, and once again, I have to go back to the narrative. The narrative is done well for what it's trying to present.
Yeah, that's my whole point.
Fine
of all
for
of
what
this.
it's trying to present. It's not a bad narrative, and I have to stress that enough. Yeah. This is not a poorly written film. This is not a poorly directed film. Yes.
Yeah.
It is well written. It is well put together. It's well structured outside of villain stuff. It is well put together.
That's why I've been stressing this entire conversation. Our complaints are purely subjective.
Yes.
These are purely people who are questions saying these are purely subjective complaints.
Yes.
Objectively, we say it's a good movie. It doesn't give us everything we want, some of us Spider fans, but it's a good movie with good acting, good choreography. Its narrative's clean. As I said at the beginning of the discussion, I got that one completely wrong. I thought this movie was going to be a narrative mess. No, the narrative stays on track. No deviations, no off-ramps, nothing. It keeps us. We understand Peter's emotional pain. They deal with his pain. Within the narrative and constraints of the characters they have to use, they come to proper closure here and there. They have what is presented as a villain who's doing what she wants to do for her reasons. We have the people behind making her do their things. We have proper fight sequences, all that stuff. But it works within that when you take a step back and allow us to have a subjective conversation, which is what this discussion has been, a completely subjective conversation where
absolutely
we're basically saying we wish they had done this a different way. It's
Absolutely.
Not taking away from the fact that this is a well-made, well-shot, well-acted, for the most part, written movie. You make a couple of mistakes by having Jean Grey walk a guy into a car, and that is a failure in the writing because somebody doesn't know Jean Grey. That's a failure of somebody not doing their research, or also, as we have agreed upon between ourselves and the chat, this is then the affliction of the MCU. You're tied to a narrative in some cases that is still outside your control. You have to have, as little as it is, you have to have some strings attached to the garbage dumpster fire that is the Marvel Cinematic Universe. You cannot escape it. This is the best franchise to get outside of it for the most part, but you still got to touch. The poo is still there and it still stinks.
We're still there. And I want to address Calamore's comment there about seeing Spider-Man kill someone would be a good scene. Not the fact that it would have been a good scene, but as far as in my personal opinion, as far as the narrative is concerned about him losing control of himself, it would have done well for the character as far as it's being displayed. Not
maybe
as far as
earlier in the film. At that point, it's too late.
So that's what I'm saying. Let's take it out of it being the falling action. Let's put that joint in the middle.
I have a great example for finish word, but I have a great way to try to make Jed see what you're saying. I have a good one.
Okay, good
example.
Because I believe we never get the quote unquote out of control. Now, if you want to say that he was starting to slip, in my personal opinion, once again, if you say he was starting to slip during the fight with Scorpion, Sure, 100%. I will agree.
Split.
100%. But we never get full Arachnid
Out of control.
and that's
Or full
out of control. I never get out of control Peter. I never get full black eyes going crazy, doing whatever is necessary in order to get stuff done. That moment never comes.
And here,
in my opinion.
And I think I understand what Dre's trying to say, how that it would have worked in that climactic moment there, because that's our climax right there. That's our climax.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
It would have worked because he needed to go slightly over the edge. And here's my example to try and draw in what I think what Dre's saying, Jed. Luke cutting off Vader's hand at the end of the battle in Death Star 2. Luke has crossed into dark side territory when he does that. He gives into his anger. Peter never goes quite that far. And I think that's what Dre is saying. Dre wanted a one step slightly far. Not necessarily maybe ganking that guy, but at least impaling him.
Yeah.
On that spike.
Something that has
something
to
realize,
trigger.
whoa, and maybe then give us an internal thing of Peter looking at himself as the black-eyed version, more arachnid hormone, whatever. Give us something to show him that, oh my God, I just lost control. I need to resist it. It's the same as when he tries to resist whenever the symbiote takes over.
Same principle.
In adaptations of the symbiote taking over, Peter fights, and in those cases, he loses because the symbiote is too strong, and then you get the aggressive Peter, the one that doesn't care, that he just crunched a car or threw a criminal off a building. Those are the consequences, and then he has to deal with that after the fact of, oh my God, I killed those people when I was in the symbiote. So they needed to not be afraid to take that extra step. It's a half a step. It's a half step. You don't have to kill the guy. I can meet halfway. Just impale him on the shoulder or something. They're like, hang on, thing right
Cripple
there.
him.
Yeah. But it's the MCU. You have to limit the amount of
If they
blood
had
you
gone
can
that way, they would have had to have him get rid of the man spider aspect of himself rather than accept it. And I
would have preferred that.
And I'm okay with that.
I don't want him to, as I said earlier, I don't want you going organic web shooters. Be Peter Parker with mechanical web shooters and more technology. Do that. I don't want that. That's that. And as Jed and I talked about yesterday, that's the fault of Ultimate Spider-Man. People go and we had that discussion yesterday.
In the narrative of this film, though, how would they have gotten rid of the man spider? Like, would they have to make him a cure like they did for everyone in No Way Home?
We never did man spider. That was a red herring in the trailers. We all convinced ourselves of that. So
this dark aspect of him, for lack of a better term, it's man spider as much as we're going to see.
Yeah, as much as we're going to see. So let's just take this moment, Jed, just to answer your question. If I still follow the exact same narrative, God knows I wouldn't, but let's just play. I would have him when after he gets his shooter sliced off and the hand is beating him to an inch of his life, I would have him take off the inhibitors as always, and then go absolutely balls to the wall insane, just throwing Bamas through cages and like webbing people up and like not like lynching nobody or nothing, but you know what I mean. Like, but they're definitely in deep peril. And then we get to like the last person that like actually takes the sword and actually penetrates like his shoulder or something, and then that's when he just snaps and then just grabs them and then like does like a whip and like have someone in there and just launches them and then just impale them. And like you say, doesn't have to be fatal, but impaled. But someone's in deep danger. They get whipped and the spoke goes through their shoulder. And then he finally looks at this person who is at the brink of dying. He's like, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done? And then he like falls to his knees, grabs his head, do something to that nature and to show that he lost
that
control.
Would still be accepting it and keeping the man spider. I'm talking about getting rid of those aspects. Like
and
Adam
that's what I'm
doesn't
saying.
want the organic webs. He just mentally decides he doesn't have that anymore.
And like he snaps back into himself. And and then he starts to be able to gain control, but then realizes this power is too great for me to handle. And then eventually he will make another, rebuild it, make another inhibitor, whatever the case may be. But he has the discipline to not use the power. Like I said, I'm using the exact same narrative that's there.
Meaning you're saying get another inhibitor and make it permanent.
He makes it permanent, and that's what I'm saying. Like using the exact, like not changing anything else. As he still jumps through the door and meets Jean, and all ends the same way.
And here's the thing:
if nothing else, that would have been a lot better final fight inside his head, fighting the man spider version of himself.
Sure,
Yeah.
even if it's
Yeah.
internal
Jean May can
conflict.
do that or something like that. But yeah, you needed a
Sure.
1v1 boss
Yeah, or
fight at the
anything
end.
to that nature. I'll be fine with any
And
of that. But
for any damage he did during that fight to people, then his hero moment is making sure Jean doesn't kill anybody and Jean doesn't die. There's your hero moment. And to comment on a couple of things Kellen Moore here is saying, I disagree with most of what you're saying here because I consider the artwork as their propaganda excuse for why they're doing what they did. That's my interpretation of the art book thing. But at the same time, I think people are giving kids too little credit.
I agree with that as well.
We
I
survived
agree with that as well.
scaring the kids. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
we survived a lot of creepy, crazy shit in movies for our childhood, and we're fine. I think people are giving kids too little credit. But for $5, Kelmore, pain in the butt grift, all I can afford. Dude, your generosity is appreciated. Thank you for the $5. Hey, listen, you're providing a devil's advocate point for discussion. This is an open discussion here.
Yep.
This is an open
Always.
discussion. We are happy to have our points counter. We are here to talk and discuss this. That's why I said in the title today, discussion. We're not here to force our opinions on you. We're here to debate it.
Yep.
We're here to debate it and this has been a healthy debate here. A healthy debate. And
I'm not a comic book guy. I really enjoyed the movie, but I still understand your guys' perspective.
Yeah. So I all of this is then it's all subjective because bringing it back in the constraints of this movie, it all works.
It won't work.
Which is why people are enjoying the hell out of this movie because the movie set up each and every plot point and executed a well-earned delivery, setup and payoff. It works. It works. So it's.
I do agree saving that for Venom going over the edge because it wasn't the way the film wanted to pose the man spider stuff was accepting his true potential. So yes, there was that aspect of him losing his edge, losing a little bit of his grip, like you were saying, Dre, in the cop scene. But it was more fear of change that was driving him to reject this other side of him.
Sure.
And when he took off the inhibitor in the film, it was more, I have no other choice right now. These people will kill me right now. I have no other choice. It wasn't necessarily in that moment like I am in control now. It's just I have no other choice. And that desperation I think helped him control it. So with what the film was trying to go for, with acceptance, it wasn't about the man spider aspect of him was ever truly bad. It was that he was just frightful of his true potential. And I think that portrayed well. I think the film should have made the black eyes more in his head than anything else. The black eyes, I think, are a little bit too far.
I think that was also part of the marketing to throw us off the scent of what was going on.
Yeah, true.
There was a lot of red herrings in the marketing that we all just willingly took and ran off in directions with.
Oh yeah.
I think
it's the Phoenix Force. Remember that one?
I did. I was all on board with that because the hopping, I didn't expect Jean to need to hop from person to person like that. That was full me not understanding where they were going with it.
Yeah, nobody did.
Have that willingness to have self-acceptance wouldn't necessarily work if he had to use the inhibitor for the rest of his life. So they would have had to have a different theme to the film.
I wouldn't have wanted that though, the inhibitor forever, because that's not Spider-Man. That isn't Spider-Man.
So leave the door open for, I'm giving them way too much credit. But let's say in Secret Wars, they use Secret Wars like they did in first Secret Wars to make the symbiote. And that's how Venom is introduced into the MCU. And then the second one is about him getting the dark suit and really going too far. They save that for an actual villain rather than an internal struggle.
I can see what you're saying. And I want to ask this one last question, although I do want to come on to this. Yeah, they blew up Wolfman in Monster Squad.
Oh, yeah.
They blew him up. They blew up Wolfman.
Oh, yeah. That man's body parts were everywhere. They should be shamed.
Yeah. Wolfman has nards. Anyway.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
You don't. And you don't. No. You would pull your hair out if I made you watch Monster Squad. You would pull your hair out.
Yeah.
You would lose. Yep. He wouldn't survive Monster Squad.
No, he wouldn't survive Monster Squad. He would not. He'd no longer be our Ginger Jesus.
Yeah.
That don't be gone.
His hair turned white. It would turn white.
It's that bad, huh?
For you. For us, it's nostalgia. It's nostalgia for us. We know it's terrible, but we love it anyway. Yeah. For you'd be like, think Golden Child times 100 your reaction.
Oh, God.
He hated Golden Child.
I
which is
remember.
a sin. It's a sin. Anyway, no,
Movie
you would
was
not survive.
so
Monster
dumb.
Squad. You would not survive Monster Squad. Anyway, but one final thing then. So before we go into our final topic and another discussion, where do you think they go with the remaining two parts of what they're calling now this next trilogy? Because we got to assume they're going to make 2 more movies for this.
Yeah, I guess so.
Do you think they go symbiote?
They have no choice. They have to. Like at one point, we just have to pull the trigger. They have to go. I mean, but
will they get it right?
No. Oh, now that is the right question.
Because
yeah, Mono.
If you're going symbiote, we don't talk about Spider-Man 3, Raimi's Spider-Man 3, because that thing's an abomination. They didn't get it right there. Venom, the movies, it looked right, but that still wasn't right. It looked right. He looked like Venom, but that wasn't right.
Yep, wasn't right. And once again, because like you said, they're shackled to the MCU nonsense, and not to mention like the thing that we usually don't even talk about is that the symbiote's already on Earth.
Yeah, at the end of No Way Home.
At the end of No Way Home, the symbiote's already on Earth.
It's a different symbiote, but
But all the same, it's there.
Yeah, but did they retcon that away with everything else? They retconned away for phases 4 and 5. Did they?
I
retcon that away?
cannot confirm nor deny what's been retconned.
They've never addressed
They don't know what's
it.
going on. But I know from my viewing eyeballs is that the symbiote is there. That's all I know. That's all I can actually say because that's all they've given me. That's it. That's what they've given me. So how do they want to play it?
They did retcon that, Dre.
Oh, really?
In Venom: The Last Dance, they
Venom: The Last
revealed
Dance.
that was actually that symbiote left behind was in Venom's universe, not in the MCU, because Chiwetel Ejiofor went and collected that sample.
Wait, back up.
Yeah,
Wait a minute.
they show Chiwetel.
Don't watch any of this shit. I'm taking a moment.
Wait a minute. Hang on. But it was after they get sucked back into their universe.
That's why it never made sense. Yeah, but yeah, they revealed that was somehow in Venom's universe instead.
Oh, go kill yourselves. I hate all this garbage. I hate everything, bro.
Yep, Last Dance just
So
close that loop.
So they're just pretending that all of it got sucked in, and then it just went to the bar on the other side of their universe, and then somebody collected it. Even though
they're fixing something
people-
really dumb with something even more dumb, because it didn't make sense for part of the symbiote to be left behind if it's sucking out Venom
And then also if it's part of the symbiote, that's a new symbiote. Then it's not Venom.
Exactly.
It should transform
bred.
into.
Yeah.
It has to transform into Carnage as the cycle goes, because that's how it works. But
That's golly, man. These movies are bad. Jesus, God.
No Home, I don't think is aged well. I rewatched it this week, and it's still fun, especially that third act. But that script is garbage.
Oh,
man.
the script is
Doctor
absolute garbage.
Strange aspect of it, the first 2 acts. Andrew Garfield is the best part of that movie. He is acting his ass off. It's phenomenal. But yeah, it's great action, great nostalgia.
But
that
the thing is,
script
Jed,
needs to
that's what I
burn.
wanted with this. I want to be able to turn my brain off and have a great time. No Way Home has maybe one of the worst scripts I have ever seen. But good Lord, the amount of fun that I was having, I was darn near butt naked in the theater. It was outrageously fun. This movie was no fun, but has an absolutely great script for the most part.
I had more fun in this movie. I really enjoyed this movie. My theater loved it. They were cheering, clapping, all on for the action. Like the first time he really went web slinging, they were on their feet.
Great scene. Once again, great scene.
So, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than No Way Home.
And look, I ain't going. Look, I'm never going to
Jed
question
doesn't like
anybody's
dumb
fun.
fun.
Yeah, he doesn't like dumb fun.
That's
Jed does
fair.
not like
Yeah,
dumb
that's
fun.
true. No,
Yeah,
that's
he doesn't like
absolutely
dumb fun.
true.
I mean, that's his thing. He was like, look at the structure. Oh, narrative. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's the thing. And that's
You're
he's
not
my boy.
wrong.
Yeah, that's my boy. Me, at the point in my life where I'm at right now, I'd rather just have dumb fun, kick back, throw popcorn out, and everybody in the theater laugh and have a great time. So narratively, this movie works
So
very,
you
very
want
well
chicken
for what it is.
jockey?
Whatever that is, that sounds like fun.
Oh,
Oh, Oh,
The Minecraft. That's not dumb fun. That's
okay.
insane.
That's
retardation.
that was
full,
retardation.
That's
That's
just
full
teasing.
blown age retardation. That's deep. That's deep. Yeah, but overall, it was a fine film. It
Yeah.
just
Fast
wasn't for
Forever,
me.
Vin Diesel said it's the best script he's ever read. So
Yeah,
that might be right
whatever.
up, my alley finally instead of yours.
Man,
I don't believe him.
Vin Diesel can't read, so it doesn't matter.
That's why Groot was the perfect role for him.
Yeah.
Bottom
Vin
line is
Diesel,
this: I agree. They're gonna do symbiote. I don't know how.
Yeah, they have to.
If it's connected to Fallout from Secret Wars, who knows? I mean, it's all gonna be messy. It's gonna be messy.
I think
no
that's
matter
what
it is.
it's gonna be messy because like if the Doomsday leaks are true, then all this is moot, and then we're just gonna jump to Secret Wars anyway, and then if it gets the symbiote there and try to be comic accurate, I use that term very loosely. I'm also just accept it there and just move forward.
Jean had a sister. Yeah, I looked it up. Her sister she had a sister. It just wasn't as powerful and really played no role in Jean's mutant life whatsoever.
Not at all.
I just laughed when I heard the actress who played the sister was 8 years younger than Sadie Sink. I don't know. I just get a
and
kick
she
out of
played.
that.
Didn't she play the older sister?
She did, yeah. But it was a flashback, so
yeah,
it's fine.
That's a hard.
That's
a hard 15.
Hard 8 years.
It's a hard 15, man.
Yeah, she'd have seen some things.
I did appreciate though. This is the nerd me. I did appreciate that her scrunchie was Jean's original X-Men uniform colors.
Yeah, that was nice.
I see it and I say, okay, I give you that.
Well, with this, I do appreciate a moment of restraint in the film because at the end, after Peter's been shot, when Jean's fixed him, or at least she used her powers to keep him from bleeding out, right?
Yeah.
I thought when Peter woke up and Punisher was there, he was going to say, she left right after I got there, but she said she was going to give you something. And it was revealed that to thank Peter, she had undone the memory block on Ned and MJ. I appreciate that they didn't do that. I think muscle memory is better than having Jean do that. And I don't know if you knew this, Trey. Tom Holland did spoil this film. He confirmed that one person was unaffected by the memory spell in No Way Home. And I think it's pretty clearly Jean, at least in a different cut of the film, because she immediately knew Peter Parker was Spider-Man. That's how she tracked him down. Yeah. So I would say she was immune, which meant she could have removed the memory spell from them. And I'm glad they didn't do that.
And this is the only thing that I justified, like when only thing I figured it out as far as me was that like when the moment that she peeked into his mind for a second before he kicked her out was that she was able to find out what his name was. That's what I kind of equated to.
It's still contextually. You don't need that additional information for the movie to work.
Yeah.
But they had the foundation to justify it, and I'm glad they didn't do it.
I have one final question for Dre. It's a question I asked Jeremy and Jen on Friday, and they didn't have an answer. How does Peter take care of himself financially?
I have no idea. I thought about that for about 40 minutes while I was watching the movie. I'm like, he's not a photographer. He's not.
We see him don't run any side jobs. Does he have? Is it Aunt May's insurance? Is there a stipend from Tony a trust from Tony that he's working?
I don't know how he gets access to either of those things with the memory spell.
Well, genius. Yeah. Peter Parker, genius, computers, whatever.
Stole it. He stole it. That's all I got to say.
How is he living?
Spider-Man is.
I think they need to include he had a job to at least pay for his apartment, but I think it would have been a really cool detail if all that tech he had there was scrounged together pieces. Like he went dumpster diving. His monitor was partially a redone monitor from 15 years before he found in the trash, and like that scrambled together look, I would have really appreciated.
Yeah.
And my point is though, I can believe Tony Stark trust, but I need the movie to tell me this, or at least something from the last movie to tell me this. Because we know that he was given stuff by Tony in Far From Home, but is it still going?
I don't know.
After all this time,
someone tried to say that the cops were paying him. So it was like that's why he knows the detective. She set up a W-2 for him and some medical benefits.
That would mean that Kingpin was paying him during all those years because Kingpin would have been mayor during that period of time.
Don't bring in aborted again because
because
you have no choice.
How was he operating in the city during the whole no vigilantes allowed?
Oh no, Jet! I have a better question for you.
How come we didn't see it in Daredevil? How come we didn't see it there?
We got the black Mexican as the mayor. He's mayor during this film. How is Daredevil still in freaking prison? Explain yourselves.
You know why? Because
I-
aborted season 3 will take place before this movie starts.
And this is why time jumps are retarded. This is why it's retarded. It's a time jump.
Means
from
it's
the film.
Yeah,
the film is in 2028. If I got the timeline right.
Right.
It's in 2028.
Yeah, 2028 is correct, but it's that's how much time's been between No Way Home.
Yes.
So it's still in this correct line with No Way Home. It's the blip that's the problem.
Yeah, the blip is always the problem. But what I'm saying
They're
is
still trying
now,
to catch up to Endgame.
We're trying to catch up. So this movie takes place in 2028.
Mhm.
So at some point, he was active during Born Again. It's not up for debate.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
Well,
He was
Born Again
active.
still takes place in the future too. Pretty much everything in the MCU is at least offset by a few years.
But
Well,
we see
that doesn't matter. What
montage.
we're saying is
Yeah.
these worlds, these storylines interconnect in that
Yes.
period of time. That's
yeah,
what we're saying.
Yes.
that's insane.
Yeah.
The anti-superhero task force that he
Yes.
had in season 2.
Absolutely he was absolutely
That's
active.
more interconnectivity issue rather than a time
And
jump
that's
issue.
the poo.
But
It's
that's
the
what I'm
poo.
saying. There's poo there. But remember,
Poo.
he gets the key of the city during the montage. And remember, he gets the key of the city when Ned and Michelle Jones was in the second year of MIT. This
You're right.
See? So 2
You're
more
right. But
years
it's
pass. You see what I'm saying? Two
So
more
when
years
was
go
Kingpin
by.
active in the Spider-Man timeline?
Do you
during
see
No
what
Way
I'm
Home?
saying? So he had to be active. The anti-vigilante task force
Mhm.
was active during that time period.
Mm-hmm.
And then it went on for so long that even the black Mexican mayor is now mayor. So that was Kingpin, then the stoppage, he continues, then meets black Mexican mayor. So he was
I think that's
active
a
that whole
Born Again
time.
issue.
But
But
I
it's
don't think
still
that's
the
brand new
MCU.
James Bond.
It's
the
still the
MCU
poo.
Yeah, it's
the
the
MCU
poo. It's still the poo.
And that's why I keep saying the only real flaws in this movie is when you have to
Mhm.
trace it to the poo.
Yep.
That is the
And
MCU.
that's poo. And you're gonna get your little dirty fingers on it. It's
Yeah.
inevitable.
That is why, even in the realm of this movie working within its own rules, it's not a perfect movie because the MCU taints it.
Yes.
No matter how, you can't talk your way out of it. Yelena, the mayor, the Kingpin, the poo, the this, the that.
I do think there was potential for this to be the best Spider-Man movie, period, with these changes that we're talking about.
Sure.
Yeah, but all these things keep it down. Give it a good villain. Remove the MCU aspects of it.
Yeah.
And this
That's
could
why I give
easily
it
rival
7 out of
Spider-Man
10.
2.
Yeah,
That's why
and
I
like,
give it
and,
7 out of 10.
and once again, to be fair to this film, as we mentioned several times, it's well, for the most part, well written, well put together. The main thing that's missing is a real villain. If, like, literally, I can, in my objective mind, forgive everything else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
In my objective mind, I can forgive everything else. You got to give me a real bad guy.
Yeah.
You've got to give me a
That is a
legitimate,
legitimate flaw.
villain. You cannot give me some lady that's going to be quote unquote redeemed and Spider-Man
No,
doesn't beat the villain.
Metzger's the
you
villain.
can't do that.
I still
Yeah.
think
Metzger's the villain.
the best option would have been Oscorp is funding damage control.
Sure.
That's
I've
an
been
easy
okay
win.
with that. Easy money.
Yeah.
And then we
switch
can be
out
like, oh,
Metzger
it's
for
really Goblin.
Norman.
Yep.
Mhm.
I'm good. They're like, oh, Norman Osborn's really the bad guy. Cool.
It
cool
wouldn't
with
have worked with canon like you guys were talking about comics, but in context of the film,
But we're willing.
maybe Jean.
Yeah.
No. What am I about to say?
Okay.
Oh,
Jean breaks something in Norman, in his mind, and that's what
Okay.
leads him to become the Green Goblin.
Sure. I'm willing to accept that. Everything is better than what
Yeah,
villain stuff we're given.
It's okay to have adaptation break new
Mhm.
form.
Sure.
It's just
Sure.
give us it within the realm of Spider-Man, and that's
Yep.
what's missing in the third
Yep.
act. Spider-Man villain. That
Yep.
No one can deny this. Even objectively speaking, you cannot deny this movie is missing an A level Spider-Man villain, or even a B level,
Absolutely.
because Scorpion's C tier.
Yeah,
He's C tier. He's a
street-
thug.
He's beyond street
Yeah.
level. He's like
Yeah.
sewer level. So So
Did
it's
Metzger
that-
have
that
any
part
good
is-
stories? I know he's an X-Men villain, but he
I
just
don't
seems
know.
so freaking boring.
I didn't read a
Yeah.
ton of X-Men. I just read the main story arcs.
So like he was more a villain of X-Force, the government, the government X-Men stuff, like all that legal stuff. So once again, I would not have used him. I wouldn't even use damage control personally, but I would like use Oscorp. That would have been perfectly fine. Anything, because you gave me nothing. You gave me nothing in way of legitimate villains and villains doing anything. And yes, Peter saves the day, but not in the way of that superheroes need to defeat somebody. He defeated no one. He didn't defeat anyone. No one. And he saves the day. I don't like that.
Other Ibrahim is right. It's the poo. That he's what he's talking about there is the poo. That is the poo.
Talking about the poo.
That's the poo, and it stinks, and that's the problem. They can retcon it all they want, but they're still constrained by it. Either way, so go see this movie though. We're
yes.
We have been nerd discussing this. Remember, we have been nerd discussing. This is a lot of nerd subjectivity, nitpicking. I said this last week. I said it when I did my small review. I said I'm gonna nerd nitpick this thing, and that's what this was. But it's still a good movie and deserves its near $1 billion 3-day weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
It deserves every dollar it earned, and it will deserve it going forward. And I hope in the future that somehow, somebody realizes, don't go near the poo. Get as far away from the poo as possible, and make Spider-Man kind of working on his own, separate from MCU bullshit. Because the MCU ain't getting any better. But I got one final question for you guys. It's one that Jed and I touched on a little bit on driving last night, but I really want to save it for today. Since we started late, we'll go a few more minutes here. There's a debate going on out there right now in the realm of the internets. Is this movie better than Spider-Man 2? Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2. Some people are saying this movie is better than Spider-Man 2.
Come on, man. Come on. That's recency bias. No, absolutely not. It's not better than Spider-Man 2. Just don't do this.
Recency bias is something that people don't address often enough. I'm being careful with recency bias for Project Hail Mary, and I fucking loved that movie.
Yeah.
You got to be careful with it.
6 times you loved it.
I've seen it 8 times now.
That's disgusting.
Did your steelbook arrive?
No. I'm still watching on digital steelbook.
Okay.
The hard copy comes in the next 2 weeks, I think.
Okay,
it's almost out. But yeah, I've seen it 8 times now and still loved it every single time. I need to re-listen to the book.
I mean, here's the thing. As Jed and I talked about last, I gave Spider-Man 2 last night. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 last night because my belief is I think it is a classic. It is great. It is one of the best made superhero movies ever. But, and I think Dre will somewhat agree with me on this one. I think he will. I don't know. I'm not going to push you into that. I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man suffers from one glaring fault is that it uses Ultimate Spider-Man as a foundation.
That's just you, Adam. That's just you. I do not.
Mary Jane as his high school friend. Organic web shooters.
Time out. Time out. Let me be as clear as I possibly can. I like organic web shooters. I've said it before.
Okay.
I said
it.
I like what Ultimate Spider-Man does as far as Peter Parker is concerned. Yes, I will agree with you. Having MJ as his high school girlfriend is a mistake, and I think Kristen Dunst may be the worst freaking girlfriend in the history of movies and television.
Thank you. 100%.
Absolutely terrible. Norman Osborn was right. That's what I'll say about that. Do what you need to with her and broom her fast. He was right. He was right. But this is what I will say. You are right on certain aspects as far as it being restrained by the ultimate storylines. I will give you credit there. But as far as the film, in my personal opinion, is darn near perfect. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2 may be the second greatest superhero movie of all time, second only to The Dark Knight. It pacing, character development, even character work, villains, Everything about this film works, and it is freaking timeless. I cannot say that this film, and objectively speaking, let me be clear, I cannot say that this film is better than Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 for one very, very glaring reason, and we talked about it. Villain. If you don't give me a villain that I want to see be destroyed and somebody I boo, I can't cheer for my hero. And that's a major problem with this film. Narratively, it's great. One Tree Hill, all that stuff is great. All that emotional dribble that the women love, it's great. It's great. But if you don't give me a villain that's any good, I can't put it above Spider-Man 2. I can't in good conscience say that it's better than Spider-Man 2 when the key factor of your film is missing. I can't. I just can't do it.
And some people are, though. Some people are. And we talked about it last night. It's a great portrayal by Alfred Molina of Octavius. Great portrayal.
Absolutely.
Even though I will nitpick it, I wish he wasn't so much controlled by the arms. I wish it was him just being evil.
Yeah.
That's nitpicking. That's nitpicking.
Yeah.
That's just nitpicking. Because it leads to a great moment. I will not die a monster.
Yep.
My last act will not be that of a monster. That is a great moment that the MCU still tries to ruin. Touching the poo. Here comes the poo again. Here comes the poo again. You know it. You know I'm not wrong. Trying to take away that. That's a great moment of my last act will not be that of a monster. I will not die a monster. And then at the same time, it was brought up that my thing I harped on a lot yesterday in the conversation yesterday in drive-in was the fact that they once again, because it's, as I talked about earlier, Peter has to go through stages in his life of his different relationships before he gets to his final one as an adult. Having MJ be your childhood relationship, it screws it all up.
I agree.
And in this one, as also Jed pointed out, Dre, one of the most important things we talked about is the fact that aspects of Peter Parker is that he disappoints everybody. He's never there. He never shows up.
Mm-hmm.
But Spider-Man 2's MJ, her anger over that is not warranted because they're not even fucking dating.
Yes, like I said, she's the worst.
Yeah.
Not even close.
And that's where, even though part of me,
she brings the whole point off the movie for me. I hate her.
That's the problem, but it's still not enough because at least still, I want to say right. Don't remember I said I gave this an 8.5 out of 10 last night because it's a great movie and I used to watch it on repeat when I was younger. But it just, to me, the grounding in Ultimate Spider-Man and the fact that they still screw up the relationships, it bugs me. And of course, I don't like organic web series. That is just me. Not going to take a point off for that necessarily. But it's not, this movie, Brand New Day, is not better than Spider-Man 2.
No.
It can't be. For the point that Dre said, you can't have a Spider-Man movie be better than another one if you don't have a Spider-Man big villain. You can't. Even if it is a different adaptation, you can't. You need something to hang your hat on as the hero triumphs over one of his greatest foes.
Yep.
And granted, technically, Norman should be dead because, as Dre knows, the glider stabbing Norman Osborn in lore doesn't kill him. He recuperates over time, pulling the strings on a lot of stuff. But in movie cinematic stuff, they can't play with that around. He has to be
Makes
dead.
sense.
But and it's just, Brand New Day is a step in the right direction in these modern superhero movies, but it's not all the way there. I'm trying to find the right words here. I don't want to misspeak. Is the point.
And no, what you're saying, I believe, is accurate. It is a very good film for what it is. And for it's, like I said, for all the objective reasons, it is very good, except for something that's absolutely excluded. And this once again, this is objectively. This isn't even about my personal opinion. It is objectively not as good because it's missing a fundamental piece. Now, once again, I'm gonna give you a caveat. This film is not a superhero movie, as I have said. It's not, but it's in the genre, so I have to maintain the same standard. I have to maintain this. This film is a drama. This joint goes in the same category as Devils Wear Prada 2. Okay? This
There's
is where
still a
this goes.
lot of action
Jed.
and it's superhero tropes.
Hold on, Jed. Let me cook. What I'm saying is this. It's in the superhero genre, but it's not a superhero film. It is a drama movie. It's a drama movie. It's about feelings and connection and warm hugs and all that stuff. And yes, there's action sequences, but like we've said, are done very, very well. But for a superhero film, which is it in the genre of, for it to be an absolute success as far as the genre is concerned, not as far as impact, you need a villain. You need a villain. What good is a Batman movie if we imagine if the Dark Knight didn't have the Joker in it? Okay. There's no conversation to be had. No one's gonna say, oh my gosh, like it could all the narrative could have worked, all the script, everybody touching themselves. But you ain't got no villain. Come on. This is the conversation that I'm saying. And like once again, I'm not talking about quality in that aspect. I'm talking about as far as a superhero film is concerned. I need a villain. And they didn't give me one. So objectively, I have to say Spider-Man 2 is a better superhero film. I have to.
No, and I agree. I think Spider-Man 2 is significantly better than this, especially with Alfred Molina. But I do want to caveat with all of that, saying nostalgia is equally as dangerous as recency bias.
Sure.
When we went over
absolutely.
the film last night, we found flaws in it. It is not a perfect film. It is an incredible one and, way above the average superhero film from then or now.
Oh, from then, definitely.
Definitely then.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Leaps and bounds.
And there still are a lot of flaws in it. I think Brand New Day is the best film in the series in Spider-Man since that, though. And a villain does make a significant difference because you need that foil character-wise. I think superhero films can work without a villain under special circumstances, but there are superhero stories that have events as the foe. Like there are great Flash episodes where he's dealing with Speed Force phenomena that isn't caused by anyone specifically. So I think superheroes don't require a villain, but they require a antagonistic force, and this didn't have that. Something to overcome, something to best in one form or another. It tried with the acceptance arc, and I think that works from a writing standpoint, but not as an antagonistic arc. Jean, same way. So yeah, it was missing an antagonistic force to propel the plot, and that is an important aspect of it. It's still way better written than anything we've gotten in the last 20 years from Spider-Man.
Oh, and
except the video game.
Yeah.
2018, that's a near masterpiece.
I think 2018 is better than Spider-Man 2, though.
I will say it's better because I get to be Spider-Man.
Yeah, that helps.
I get to be Spider-Man.
The role-playing aspect of it.
Yeah, I get fully immersed in the world, and also because he's 10 years in, as we talked about the other day. That's an experienced Spider-Man. It's all things happening. Anyway, but I guess we've reached a logical end to this discussion today. Spider-Man, Brand New Day. It did conquer the world this weekend. Absolutely. And it deserves everything it has gotten. Unlike Odyssey, it deserves everything it has gotten for the praise. And we were wrong again. Odyssey didn't flinch in front of this. Mm-hmm. It made another $400 million this week. So another one we got wrong concerning Odyssey. But hey, we already took our L on that one and we've moved on. Our lives are not defined by getting Odyssey wrong. And people want to worship it, make all the wrong decisions, learn all the wrong lessons. That's a problem we'll have to deal with down the road. It's not something we can handle right now.
It was only 250, not 400.
Really?
But it was still very impressive.
Felt like it was more.
Because it was in the late 600s and now it just barely crossed over 900.
It felt like so much more just because it's oppressive. Anyway, we are finished here. Let's go around the horn. First, I will say there is no roundtable next weekend because I will be a day out from moving. So everything's going to be in boxes and I can't put on a show, especially when half the stuff's going to be taken apart. So that's going to have to wait. So we'll be back in a couple of weeks. But until then, though, Jed, what are you up to?
Well, everyone can find me on YouTube at The Endless Frontiers. Rider Flight returns tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern. We'll probably find some great things to talk about, including the Nancy Grace Roman telescope is on track for a launch later on this month. It's going to be the quote-unquote replacement for Hubble, so we have some incredible things coming up in astronomy from that perspective. Probably going to try to play Mass Effect this week to finish it up, and then we're not doing drive-in this week, correct? No drive-in this week.
No. All streams are canceled because
So
there's no
just,
tryhards because Dermy's in Vegas.
So just gaming whenever I get a chance. Might do another stream on Saturday, replace Saturday night driving, but we'll have to see.
Okay, Dre.
So this week, we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on the Spider-Man box office, because I'm definitely interested in seeing how quickly this junk can get to $2 billion. So we'll definitely have a video this week, focusing on all the gajillions that this movie's making. So definitely check that out on the Brutal Blank Comics YouTube channel. Yeah, that's all I'm really gonna have this week off the top of my head, unless something breaks that that I don't see coming. So do all those great YouTube things, like, comment, subscribe, and share, and follow me on X, Twitter at TheBrute00.
And as I said, with this being my move prep week, don't expect a lot out of me. I know I haven't been putting out a lot of content except for the regularly scheduled streams. That even comes to an end this week. Bottom line is I'm a little unfocused. I can't really concentrate with the move over me and other things going on. So we're going to kind of just take a little break for the next week or so. Probably, I would say somewhere around maybe the 14th or the 15th, I'll be back up and running. It's all about how timing, getting everything, my new setup, arriving, stuff like that, because I can't get access to my new apartment until actual moving day. So I can't have anything shipped there and the like. I can't put it in there. Anyway, so I want to thank everybody for joining us this afternoon. And I want to thank everybody subscribing to my channel, Jet's channel, Dre's channel, especially with the patience, especially with my channel you've had as I've had a lower content output this past month or so. I have ideas. I've already expressed a few of them to Jen, a couple of people. We're going to come back in the mid-August, and I'm going to be putting out sort of a different strain of the content. We're still going to cover news, but we're going to kind of dial that back. A lot more evergreen content, a lot more discussion-based content, a lot more introspective space-based content, talking about things. So I think that is the strength of this channel. And of course, remember, we've got Lanterns coming up on August 16th. Oh, yes. We're doing that. And to add to a question that I saw way at the beginning of the stream, never got around to it. Yes, Son of Joxer, Mortal Country will be back in November with Rings of Power season 3.
Drake, they're dropping 4 episodes at the premiere.
Right. It's a 4-episode dump to start, and then the remaining 8 to a week.
Oh my God.
Our brains are gonna leak out of our ears.
It's too much, all right. How long
is each episode an hour? Each episode an hour?
That's crazy. and the finale comes out, I think, on Thanksgiving.
What?
Golly.
Oh, what? No, what? I missed what you said. What?
The finale is going to come out right before Thanksgiving.
Okay. Listen,
I'm not going to be thankful for anything.
Here's our review lineup. We've got Lanterns, which, as we know, is going to be a fucking disaster. But I'm excited. Then we've got Rings of Power. Then we've got this Hunter Schafer-led Blade Runner show, 2099.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be
When does that come out? February?
I don't know, but I think it's this year. No, it's this year.
Okay.
We looked at it. It's this year. And then we've got Harry Potter in December.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
And Harry Potter in December. So there's a lot to be reviewed. There's also some movies still coming out here and there. We'll talk about those things. So it's going to be a busy fall. It's going to be a busy fall. And
you have to pick one of those, Dre. You have to be on Rings of Power or Harry Potter.
Sorry, my diabetes just flared up. You got it.
Or Lanterns. You know,
His foot just fell right off there. The foot just fell right off.
The sugar foot is back, baby. The sugar foot is back. Golly. That is all bad.
Jen is determined to make you suffer.
I know. I'm like, yo, I thought we was boys. This was my ginger Jesus. How could you even put this on me? Man, I'm thinking I might watch Lanterns. I don't know, man.
Trials.
Oh, you're gonna watch Lanterns. You know you're gonna watch Lanterns. You will not.
I might have to
resist Daredevil. You're gonna resist Lanterns.
Oh God. God, I've watched so much bad this year.
Yeah.
Dang it. I might have to watch Lanterns.
Anyway.
Ah.
We'll be
Not
back
happy.
in a couple of weeks. We hope to see everybody there. Thank you for being here. Hit those like buttons, subscribe to the channels, and we'll see you guys next time. Until then, take it easy, everybody.